see no titties in movies anymore, and we only see dicks. Hey, anybody notice this? Yes, I love titties. Big old titties.
What's up, you big old bitches? I've been gone for 7 whole days, the longest break I've taken on streaming in a long ass time, and we return with my boy Nick REKIETA to talk about the spice. How you doing, bro?
Hey, good, man. You were gone for 7 days?
Yeah, last my stream was last Wednesday.
Jesus Christ,
dude! I was racing, going in circles, and that really takes it out of me for some reason.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's fucking tough to sit. Like, I know it's like the funny memes, like, well, you just have to turn left or whatever. It's like, yeah, but if you don't turn left correctly, you die.
Yeah, and some of these tracks we go to, they'll be like a bunch of tires just in the middle of the corner, and I'm like, man, if I hit that, I'm gonna like turn into goo. Like, it's awful. And the way you sit in these cars, you'll have a 5-point harness, and it's strapped. It's pulled so tight you can barely breathe. Your helmet's on. You have your headset like attached to your lips. And you can't move your head because there's this brace that goes around your head, and then there's a brace on your shoulders that attaches to your belt, so you can't move your head forward. So you can only use your eyes, and you can when you're sitting there under caution or red flag, parked, all you can hear is your heartbeat, and every just that's all you can hear. It's like uncomfortable. But when the green flag drops, you don't realize it, and you forget about all that shit.
You know what you could try doing? Instead of having all that equipment on, you could try not being a pussy.
That's true.
Just race naked. Unstrapped.
Could you imagine the fire? You see fire, you're
your
like, well,
dick flapping out the window.
Oh, no. To be charred like one of those burnt-ass hot dogs from Thanksgiving. People like those. Man, I was hanging out with
overcooked hot dogs?
Yeah.
Dude, I can't stand them.
Oh my God. I was hanging out with a girl, and she's like, I love them when they're just like crispy black. And I'm like, that's a joke in itself. But also, it tastes like burnt ass cheese. It's awful.
Yeah, I don't like them when they're overdone like that. Like, you got it. I like it. You get a little bit of the char on the outside. And if you cook them just right, they split and that juice goes, and like lights on fire. But that's when you know it's like, okay, well, the internal liquid is boiling through the skin, ruptures it. That's when you know it's fucking done. Like, turn it over, get a little crispy on the one side and take it off. Don't sit there and turn it Nigerian. Don't do that.
Dude, I love when you bite into a brat. Oh, and it squirts on you. Oh my God, bro. It's like the dream. It's something subconscious I can't really handle. Speaking of something unconscious, can we give a big shout out to my boy, the man, the myth, the legend, the guy that trolled the entire CAMELCAST live, Billy Hatcher. My man! Damn! Woo! So glad to see you won the race, even though Nick's nose on the front of the car hood. And I'd also like Nick to make fat jokes of Lizzo too. And maybe Cody. And maybe Nick be a gay couple. What the hell are you talking about right now, Billy? Are you drunk? I want jokes about Lizzo. I want Cody and Nick to take the clothes off and make out. Also, had to tell his wife he has a husband now. It's me.
Yeah, I told her that a while back.
That's been a year now.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute. She's been adjusting to it, but it's okay. Like we're good.
Thank you, Billy Hatcher. I love you. I appreciate you. First Red Boy, 226 naked snakes in a row, 24 from the 24-hour stream. Thank you, Billy. I love you, and I appreciate you. Thank you. Helena says, my boyfriend can twerk better than Cody. It is known. I doubt that. Thank you, Helena. I appreciate you. Yeah. Helena wants to do another meetup in Vegas. And I'm like,
yeah, I saw. In theory, I am down. If I can make it happen, it would be a lot of fun. Yep. I didn't know if we should do like February or like March, because like it was cold. It was oddly cold that 1 week. And I don't know if it's like, well, do you wait till March? Is it back up to 90 then? Like, I don't know how Vegas works. Is it what is it, like an oven that just turns off for a month? Like
I've been I've been in almost every month, and it's always warm. So that was actually kind of weird that it was cold. The first time I've ever experienced that.
It snowed while I was there. It fucking snowed in Vegas. I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, it's weird, dude. This usually doesn't happen. Yeah. And then got to go to a wedding at some point in the year next year around that time, I think. So
yeah. That's That's why I would think it'd be a good time, but also why it might not be good. Well, I don't know. I got to check on schedules and check with the lady. And our kids have like a fucking nightmare school year schedule this year. So it's been kicking my ass. I've been tired every day because like I have to, now one of them has a thing at like 7 a.m. I have to get up. So I get done with my show and I get to bed like between 4 and 6, depending on when my show and my locals are done. And then I have to wake right back up at about 7 o'clock, take my kid to their thing. And then I come back home and I'm back to sleep by 8:05 or whatever. But that's just like that break is like a fucking sledgehammer to your rest. And so sleep. And I'm like, wake up. I'm like, oh, it's
dude, that was me when I had to fly back home from the race. I had to get up at 4 a.m., drive to the airport, fly for 4 hours. It was a nightmare. I hate it. I hate it so much. Exactly. Says no, more West Coast. New Hampshire should be next. I forgot New Hampshire existed until just now.
I'm still thinking of trying to find Old Hampshire.
Where's just Hampshire? Where the hell's Hampshire?
England, somewhere in England.
Well, I can't believe we have places that still like reference that dumbass place.
Yeah, we should change all those. New York should just be like new. That's all it should say. New York. New Hampshire loses it, got less people. So sorry, New Hampshire, you have to come up with something else.
New. It's just called new. New city. That's what it's called.
New Jersey, fuck you. You don't get to be New or Jersey either.
Yeah.
You just get to be the Jersey Shore. Okay, you can be the Jersey Shore with the state attached. That's the state's name. The Jersey Shore with the state attached is just fake tanned Italians with shitty accents.
Just call it crime. That's what we'll call New Jersey. You know? Just the state of crime. That's where I live. Thank you. Exactly. Appreciate you. Amelia, how you doing? Says, hello, my darling. How you doing, baby? Oh, Amelia. Hope you're doing well. Raking Knight with a $50 Rumble rant. Oh, my damn God. This dude has every single legal badge you can have on Rumble. There's like 50 of them.
Look at all those fucking badges. Holy shit.
Late and gay as always. Congrats on finishing the race and not smashing up the nose. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I do too. Thanks. thanks for not fucking that one up.
I killed 2 noses last race. So I made up for it. Killed 2 last time. Didn't kill any this time. So now we're even.
Yeah, now you're just at like a nice average.
Yeah, just 1. Just 1 per race. But yes, I appreciate everybody for being here, liking the show. Already nearly halfway to the Naked Snake and of course the Fight Milk. I've been off for a whole week, so everything helps your boy. Every little blue boy is unfathomably thankful for. So I appreciate that.
Did you just say Fight Milk?
Yeah. Well, if we hit it, yeah.
Every time, like I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna go on Cody's show. It's gonna be great. And it's like you're like, well, we're 800 for Fight Milk, and I'm like, fucking Fight Milk. I forget fucking Fight Milk every time.
Every
Jesus
time,
Christ.
yeah.
Oh God.
Oh man. So
we'll see how I can handle that one tonight.
I've been fascinated. I'm drinking Woodford, by the way. It's beautiful.
Me too. I have Woodford double oaked. 2 times the wood.
I just have single wood. So that's all I could muster.
This has 2 dicks.
Yeah, dude. So
yeah.
I've been fascinated with this whole like Isom, Ripaverse, Eric July like lawsuit thing. Because I was kind of paying attention, but I kind of wasn't. And then it just started rolling more and more and more. And then I watched Eric's video he put on his channel about the lawsuit with the International School of Ministry. That's what it's called. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was watching that, and then I started watching your shows about it, and then I watched EVS talk about it recently. So I'm like, okay, so there's a lot going on here, and I want you to kind of give me because you know the legal process way more than my dumb ass does. So I want you to give me a rundown of what the hell, how it started, and how like the whole process until now. Because you can
how it started versus how it's going.
Yeah,
could actually probably be a meme right now too. So okay, this is kind of a complicated legal story to break down.
Yeah.
And I gotta try and avoid a lot of the fucking drama that's around Isom in general, because there's that issue which has this little interplay with the trademark. And a lot of people like want to make the trademark about the drama. And that's a misunderstanding of how trademark works. Yeah. There are a lot of lawsuits where you can use bad faith of another person as a defense to the lawsuit. Trademark is a lot harder to do that on unless the bad faith party is the trademark owner in some way who's bringing suit. So you don't get to just say, well, they're operating in bad faith, referring to people who are not in the suit, and to be like, so I get to infringe on this other person's trademark. People seem to be very fucking confused about that, but that is not a real thing. That's not how it works at all. It does not matter where the source of the trademark infringement's identification is. It doesn't matter what is driving up customer confusion or whatever. All it matters is between the trademark owner who owns a thing and then the person who is a potential infringer who is potentially or allegedly using the thing without permission.
Yeah.
So with that, I can try and break this down from the chronological beginning as it unfolded, because we now have this new information that popped out the other day that turns the timeline back actually a whole 15 months, which is kind of fucking crazy when you think about it.
Right.
Because all of this mess that we'll get into in a second is predicated on the idea that Dick and Vito or one of their fans or someone that they asked informed the school of ministry of this trademark infringement. And then the ministry reached out by filing. Well, they didn't reach out at first. They filed a lawsuit against the Rippaverse. And then they, started talking to the Rippaverse. And if that were the case, you have a little bit different conversation. But now that timeline gets rolled back 15 months because some weirdo, and allegedly this is an SJW lefty fucking kook weirdo, I don't know, who goes onto Twitter and just, annoys everybody. But he brought up to Eric like 15 months ago that Isom he called him a woke character. And then he compared him to Miss Marvel, who, if you don't know who Miss Marvel is, because nobody fucking cares who Miss Marvel is, she's a Muslim superhero for some reason. And her kind of identity and persona is being a Muslim woman, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. I don't read these fucking books. But that was kind of the complaint about Miss Marvel. This guy's like, well, what makes Muslim woman woke, but black Christian man not woke, referring to Isom. So there's immediately a Christian association because of the cross on his penis. And then the other aspect of that is that same person in the same tweet brought up the International School of Ministry and kind of connected those dots. And Eric retweeted that. So we know he saw it. And he basically said, as far as the International School of Ministry, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Which is half fine, but not fine. But then it gets complicated because other people in that thread are like Googling it and being like, yeah, they're the first Google result, and they're posting the shit about the ministry. So
this was 15 months ago.
Yeah. October or July of 2022.
So this was before the first Isom issue, right?
Yes. This was before the campaign even closed out.
Realistically, he could have just like changed the title like right there, maybe. That avoided the trademark.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably.
Okay. Yeah.
So like a brief note on trademark. Trademark is not like a partial thing. In Eric's video that you watched, and I don't know how many of the chat have seen it, but at the end, he brings up this comparison of Sonic, which is a fast food restaurant. He says they were known for fast service, but Sonic was actually a 50s drive-up diner style restaurant. Yeah. And to my understanding, they were actually known for having their servers on roller skates, which they no longer do. But you pull up your car, like you'd see in these old fucking movies, and some chick would come out in an apron with roller skates on. She'd put the food on a little tray on your window and then go away.
Car
yeah. Right. Yeah. And so then he brought up that there's a character called Sonic the Hedgehog, and that Sonic eats chili dogs and Sonic the restaurant serves chili dogs. He's like, no one would think that these two overlap. And that may or may not be true, although he kind of tries to make the point that they do, but then says no one would think that. But that may or may not be true. But the important thing to know about Sonic and Sonic the Hedgehog is the trademark that Sonic owns is Sonic. And the trademark that Sega owns is Sonic the Hedgehog. They're not the same thing.
Right.
And changing like any aspect of a trademark, adding another word, adding something new and uniquely identifying eliminates the issue almost entirely. So if you have like The Adventures of Isom, for example, or The Amazing Isom, or the Marvelous Isom, or the here we go. What is it? The Inimitable Isom, right? Like some alliterative word added to the book. You've changed the title and you've changed the trademark, and your own like that takes away 99% of infringement issues.
Yeah.
Right there. And it's why we see this shit happen. But this argument over whether or not like these two things overlap and collide, people forget like the World Wildlife Foundation sued, or the World Wildlife Fund sued the World Wrestling Federation for the use of WWF. And I don't think anybody fucking thought those two things were linked at all. And so trademark isn't as straightforward as, I mean, it sounds straightforward, but the analysis gets very complicated. So those are a bunch of things to think about as we go into this. And feel free to interrupt me because I can ramble through this entire thing pretty like straightforward. But if you have any questions, or if you want me to like stop, make fun of fat, tell me.
No, yeah, no. So this whole thing is like fascinating to me. I've been trying to follow it, but there's so many damn pieces to the puzzle. Let me get these gold boys real quick, and we'll continue. Johan says Camelot. Hey Camelot. Hey Raymond Burr. Good to see you're both on CP time, and Brian Boitano. Thank you. I appreciate you, Johan. Rene Galarza. Eric, talk about the character named after his grandfather. Thank you, Rene. Yeah, we'll get to that as well. Thank you, Rene Galarza, for the second gold boy. Helena says there's a meetup for Helena in Vegas, February 22nd to 25th. Cody and Nick are invited. Thank you, Helena.
Cool.
I appreciate that. Keep reminding me, please. Raw set. This is how much for military special? $5 million. Oh,
you can't afford it.
Yeah, that's too much. Thank you, Raw set. And Billy says similar to when Monster Energy tried to sue Pokemon in Monster Hunter World for using the word monster. Thank you, Billy. I appreciate you. And
that's a whole different issue because like monster in and of itself is a word that's very common, has a common definition, understanding, and actually Monster Hunter specifically would use the monster word in the way it's understood. Monster Energy drink does not. Like, it's not identifying a monster, right? But in Monster Hunter, you are a hunter of monsters. So like you start to run into those sort of issues of how like generic and identifying a thing is. But this is deep trademark analysis really isn't relevant to this case. This case gets pretty straightforward. So let's run it down like this. The Isom comic books come out. Isom is not the name of the universe, or the brand, or the company. Isom is merely the name of the main character of this first series of comic books. And it's importantly branded as Isom number 1, number 2, number 3.
Yeah.
Changing that branding at all eliminates the issue because there is no Isom company. It's not the Isom universe. None of this becomes a thing. And then you get into copyright issues, and there's no copyright on the character named Isom. You can obviously have characters that are named the same thing as long as they're not the same fucking thing. Like, you can't put Harry Potter in your book, but you could have a character somewhere hypothetically named Harry Potter that has nothing to do with what's her face's, creation.
Yeah.
You can use names. You just can't use them to steal. And so I don't think anybody would think that Isom itself is stealing from the ministry. But where trademark gets confusing is this book comes out. It's a huge marketing campaign. It's called Isom, and it's very successful. It makes $3.7 million in pre-sales or crowdfunding, depending on how you want to describe it. It's not really relevant to any of the claims here, but Eric July is very adamant that it's a pre-sale, not a crowdfund. I don't know that it fucking matters, but maybe there's some reason he says it. Who cares? Makes $3.7 million, and a second book makes $2.3 million. So you've got $6 million raised by these two comic books in the span of about a year. That's a shitload of money. That's a lot of viral marketing and virality in general that has happened around these things. As a result of that, Isom, the comic book, which had no Google history at all, goes to meet up with Isom, the International School of Ministry, which has held the top slot for Isom for quite a while. They're the biggest Christian organization, one of the biggest Christian ministry organizations that publishes stuff that's out there. They're the biggest Isom name. They're the only Isom name that has like this global reach, and they're top dog. And they've had this trademark. They've owned it for 25 years. importantly, Eric does not own the trademark for Isom. Had he purchased the trademark for Isom and been granted it by the trademark office, he would have a much better case here. It would almost automatically invalidate their thing, because they would have handled this. They would have probably said either, yes, this isn't conflicting, or they would have said, no, we're not going to grant this to you because it conflicts with this other one. And then they could fight it, and like they could challenge that ruling and try to get access to it, or make some meaningful change. That could have happened. I don't know why it didn't. I have no idea, but it didn't. So Isom, well, we'll get to the drama here for a second.
Yeah.
On my show, because God hates me, we had a panel show, and I had Dick Masterson and the lovely Nina Infinity on, along with a few others. And
I remember this. Yeah, this whole thing is Nina's fault. I remember this. Yeah,
this is all Nina's fault. Everybody should remind Nina specifically that she caused this. But Dick was, what people don't know about Dick in the backstory of this case is that Vito has been crying about Isom for a fucking year like a fat bitch. Vito's been sitting there, Eric's comic's so popular, it's probably not even good because he sucks and blah, blah, blah. It's not out yet. He has no way to make this assessment. He's just crying about it because his comic book didn't do anywhere near as well. He's like, I make good comics. It should be worth millions. Like, but you're dull. So
it's Vito. Like,
yeah, Vito's bitching. Dick makes fun of Vito for like a year for saying that Eric's comic book isn't any good. He's probably just jealous. He's been against Vito for like the whole time. Well, then the comic comes out and Dick makes an observation, and you have to remember that he's an asshole. So the observation he makes is that he says, all these people are talking about how successful this campaign is, but I haven't seen anybody say how good the story is.
Yeah.
So I have to assume it sucks. And that was it. And then Nina said, did you read it? Dick said, no. And she's like, well, how can you say that? He goes, did you read it? And of course, Nina had not read it.
Yeah.
And so he's like, well, then how can you say it's good? And then he got challenged to do a review of the book. So he did a review of the book. It's worth a watch, I think, to people who are out there, whether you like the book or not. I think it is worth a watch. It's an interesting sort of analysis. But that being said, he reviews the book, he gets a negative review, and he is derided as a hater, a monster, SJW, whatever, which is fine. Like, that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But the criticism is immediately rejected.
Yeah.
This blows up onto a Flashcast, like Dick and Eric square off and have this retarded argument or whatever. And then things start to really kind of spiral from there. A parody t-shirt store is created called the Clipaverse, obviously making fun of the Ripaverse because Eric July allegedly has hairy arms and shoulders, and Riley was going to allegedly shave them. And so the Clipaverse is Clippers, right? And it's a joke store that got DMCA'd. Now, there was a rash of DMCA filings that seem to have come from Eric or from Ripaverse. I don't know who filed them at all, but those DMCAs took down the Clipaverse and several other Twitter accounts. One of them being this guy named Obtuse Gnome, for allegedly sharing pirated copies of the book or pirated material, whatever. That's what's claimed. I don't know the validity of any of that. Maybe true, maybe not. Whether or not the sharing actually amounted to copyright infringement is a whole different question. And without seeing any of it, it's impossible for me to make a determination. But that DMCA shit was there. And that really pissed some people off. And things really started to escalate, through this sort of thing. Now, people are going to immediately accuse me of saying that Eric brought all this on himself because of the way I'm framing the issue. I'm framing the issue as factually accurate as I can. I might get something wrong. Please don't take it maliciously. Eric both did and didn't bring this on by himself. And at first, I think he largely did not. He mostly stayed out of it. He had his back and forth with Dick on Flashcast, but so what? You can talk about your thing and kind of defend your work. It was mostly his fans who, if you observe them over the past several days, are hilariously fucking insane. They're unhinged, talking about shooting people over literal nothings. They have this weird idea that the internet is the gangster hood of the streets of the worst cities in the world. And it's funny and delusional, but also it's like, aw.
Interesting. So like
That's cute.
I was talking about this earlier before we went live. I feel like now this is just me. This is how I handle like criticism and conflict.
But real quick, someone says, obviously not all of his, or that is not all of his fans. Well, yeah, obviously it's never all. It's not even the majority, but there's a group of them who are just like straight in it for the violence thing. And there's, we'll get to the rest of that in a minute. There's a little analysis there, but that's getting into the drama that I'm trying to really avoid and get to the trademark lawsuit. But this backstory is kind of important to it. But anyway, sorry, go on.
Yeah. So what I was saying is, when I get criticism, and this is what from the outside looking in, when I was still on Twitter, and I've been kind of following it lately. I've watched all of Eric's videos about it, because I've been watching his shit forever, and so what I would have done in this situation is if somebody's like, "Hey, your book sucks," I'd been like, "I agree, like I can barely read, so I wouldn't expect it to be good. I'm surprised so many people bought it, LOL," and then it would have been over, like you know what I'm saying, like. But the vehement pushing back, like at every comment, every tweet with 0 followers, like everything, it makes people want to attack you more. And I feel like Dick is actually responsive. Like he's responsive to that. If you like push back at Dick the more and more and more, it makes him laugh. So he just keeps going harder.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because he's like, that's what he does. He thinks it's funny. So if he can get laughs out of it, he's going to do it. And if you can't, if you like just agree with him, he's like, oh, okay, whatever, it's fine. And then he'll just move on. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's the thing I was going to get to, with I think why, and guys, when I say this is not an accusation. This applies to me, at least at various times on my YouTube channel as well. It's all in how you as a persona respond to something. And sometimes you respond very hostily to pretty much everything. You might have reasons for it. You might just be in a bad mood. It doesn't really matter, whatever you are, but that does produce an outcome. In Eric's case, it has grown him a very large YouTube presence. It has created tons of very good content. His reactions to people, typically pretty baselessly calling him out on something, he'll go and write to him, confront him, make fun of him, make him look stupid. He does a great job at it. It's hilarious. It's a capstone of his fucking channel.
Yeah, and monetizing your haters. Yeah.
Right. He's done it so effectively and so well. It's part of his branding. And that is an absolutely fine thing. Just because someone does that and it might end up not being the right way to approach a particular situation doesn't mean that the person's inherently wrong or they're like trying to get mired in shit. It's just how things go. So monetizing your haters has worked out really well for Eric. And when it happened here, he eventually went after Dick and Vito, went after in the way that he would go towards anyone, confront the criticism, monetize it, make them look stupid. The problem he ran into is that Dick and Vito aren't like, well, Dick doesn't care and Vito doesn't matter. Dick will just laugh through any sort of confrontation. And that makes him a very, very difficult target to make look wrong because he won't back down. He won't do any of the things that all of these other people have for years and years and years.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like if that's the one person that you have to be able to recognize that somebody is as good at something as you are when it comes to this thing, you know what I'm saying? And just don't engage with that person in that certain way. Cause like you can say what you want about Dick. Dick's a very clever person. He's very clever. He's very good at that shit. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. And he's been doing this to people for a long time. I mean, in fact, if you don't know his backstory, there's a very funny aspect to it. Some say he peaked very early. I would agree. He's been on a downhill ever since. He went on the Dr. Phil show.
Yeah.
He went on the Dr. Phil show as a professional chauvinist. And it was when he was selling his book, Men Are Better Than Women, which is a satire book that pretty much everybody should read, and men should read it to women because women can't read. But the entire thing was, to get on the Dr. Phil show, you have to be interviewed by 3 psychologists or psychiatrists or whatever to make sure you're not faking it. He got past that by just being absurd, by leaning into the joke as hard as possible, saying more and more ridiculous things. And they were convinced This is what he has done. It's his entire legacy as a career. Now, you can think that legacy is like a garbage one to have, and that would be true, but he is good at that thing.
Yeah.
And when that thing is employed against you, you have to kind of weigh in how much of your time you're willing to waste on it. It can be very funny, but if you're the target of it, it can be very fucking frustrating.
Yeah.
you have to either just walk away from it, or you have to wade through the shitstorm that comes. And I know that sounds unfair, and that's because it is. It's very unfair.
Yep.
So as part of all this shit is going down, this obtuse gnome guy contacts the charity that Eric is donating to through his campaign. I'm not going to get into the charity stuff. This is just relevant for kind of what's happened here. I believe Dick also personally contacted the charity after Obtuse Gnome did, asked some questions about it. He alleged something about like charity fraud. Again, I don't want to get into that issue too much. It's a very hot button issue, and talking about it can lead to people to conclusions that I may not be wanting to lead them to, and I hate that fucking idea. I'll say this very clearly. At this point in time, as always, I do not believe Eric committed any charity fraud. Okay, so I don't want to get into the weeds of it and trying to explain, well, like, here's an issue with a statement, but I don't believe this, because then people are like, well, no, I don't believe it. So I don't want to go through that fucking issue. If you want to do that, come pay me a lot on my show and I'll do it. But other than that, Dick has alleged some charity fraud based on what he's seen. Eric fired back, said not a chance. We gave them all this money. We gave them all these books like we promised. As far as I'm concerned, that's that. Now, after that, Obtuse Gnome also contacted the Isom, the International School of Ministry, and wrote what I would call a troll email, mainly because of how it's worded with inside jokes and references, but it's a concern troll email. Thank you so much for letting Eric July use the Isom trademark, blah, 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 blah. Now, that should have gotten a lol email response from Isom, in my opinion, from the School of Ministry, because it's obviously a bullshit email.
Yeah.
However, they decided to then file a trademark infringement lawsuit against the Rippaverse and Eric over the Isom name. Now, I think more recent events make their response to the email seem like not necessarily a response to the email, but a response to a situation that I think they were probably monitoring for a while.
Yeah.
That is speculation on my part. I don't know. I didn't think that a little bit ago, but now I do, based on the fact that they see fucking everything and that this has actually been known for quite some time now. But that's my opinion. I don't have facts to back that up. So I'm going to stick with, at this point, it seems like they responded to a troll email with a lawsuit that I don't think they should have responded to in that particular way. Now, the lawsuit alleges trademark infringement over the use of Isom, ISOM, which is an acronym for International School of Ministry. I want to be very clear. Yes, you can trademark acronyms. Yes, you can trademark names, even family names, even proper names, even surnames. Yes, you can trademark initialings. You can trademark all of these things, and all of you know this. I know everybody who's tempted to say, you can't trademark X. I want you to put your retard foot back in your mouth for a second, and I want you to think of one example of each of those things. It's easily done. I can do it for you. KFC is Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's trademarked. Volkswagen, BMW, BP, VW, BMW, BP, DQ, BK, all of these things are trademarked acronyms, proper names. Taylor Swift, initialings, TS. Taylor Swift owns a trademark to Taylor Swift and to TS. If you don't think single names can be trademarked, Disney is a name. Disney. Walt Disney was the name. Walt Disney, I believe, is also trademarked, but Disney itself is trademarked. These things all can be trademarked. It is not a problem. And somehow, out in the ether, someone got this idea that you can't trademark this list of things that are trademarked in everybody's house in town every single day. It's very fucking weird, but let's get that out there. You can trademark all of this. There is no problem with the International School of Ministry owning the trademark for ISOM. That is perfectly acceptable. Okay?
So when Eric brings up, because I watched his recent video, and a big contention, like point of contention that he had was that I think it was his great grandfather's name was Isom Knox, right? So, and he's like, Isom's, been in his family for hundreds of years. therefore he insinuates he has a right to that name. How does that work legally?
It doesn't. It doesn't at all. It's a completely irrelevant legal argument.
Okay.
So the question in trademark ownership is, who is the first person to use the name in trade and maintain contiguous use of the mark? All right. So International School of Ministry was granted. Now, if you register your trademark with the trademark office, that is presumptive proof of ownership. It's not full on proof. Someone else could own it before you, but it's a big hurdle to overcome why you didn't contest the mark when it happened. But Isom has a registered trademark for the past 25 years. I believe they're dead Isom trademarks that may predate the ministry school's use of it. Right. But if they do not keep using it for whatever reason, they go out of business, they drop it for a couple years, whatever, the trademark can actually open up. So the question is, who is the most recent person to own it from the longest point in time back and maintain contiguous use in trade for that period of time? As far as anyone can tell, the International School of Ministry has maintained its use in trade for all 25 years of its ownership. So Eric is apparently telling the truth about his great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, Isom Knox, I believe was the name, and saying he wanted to honor him with that. But that does not matter unless Isom was used as a family business that was passed down to Eric that predates this thing. But not using Isom in trade means it doesn't matter who fucking owns it. I'm sorry. Someone was named Disney before Disney. They don't get to take it from him. Someone was named, there's J.G. Wentworth, probably before J.G. Wentworth was, right? Yeah. Like these names that you hear that are trademarked, someone else had those names at some point. It doesn't mean you get to take them. It's all about who used them in trade.
So, okay. So I've had a question for a while that I've been thinking about. So if this was all a nonprofit, do you think there would have been a trademark lawsuit?
Yes, 100%.
So there's this common question asked. There's like a bunch of like other ministries like Islamic and stuff that have the Isom in their like the anagram or whatever. Yep. Why do they not get a trademark lawsuit versus Eric anymore?
Well, it's a very good question, Camelot, and it's actually a very relevant question to the case. The problem is this. One, Eric hasn't lost the trademark lawsuit. And I think a lot of people forget that. Isom has brought a trademark lawsuit. That's just an accusation or an allegation. It does not mean that they win. And when you talk about this and try and analyze it and go through the history, everybody just assumes that it means he lost or that you think it means he lost. No, nobody has resolved this. So Eric's mark may not be infringing in the slightest against the International School of Ministry. As for all of the other ISOMs, which coordinate to other, typically some other schools of ministry or the Islam thing, we have a couple questions. We say, well, why isn't there an action against them? There may have been. There may have been. They could have sent a letter to them 10 years ago or 5 years ago or whenever they opened. More likely, hopefully, what you would do is the new Isom coming into the field would have actually sent a letter to them and said, hey, we want to use this name. We're going to be doing this type of thing. It's similar to what you're doing. Do you mind if we use it? Can we have permission? What do we have to do to work this out? You can do all those things, and those things are all protecting a trademark, and they would be perfectly fine. We have no idea if that has happened. If it has not happened, that's a great question for Eric's lawyers to ask the International School of Ministry and might be very relevant in the trademark lawsuit. The problem that we have here is we are not at that stage of the suit yet to figure those questions out. So we don't get to speculate on whether or not they have or haven't done that. Yes, it is a potential problem for the School of Ministry, but it's also may not be an issue at all. If they've sent letters, if they have an arrangement, if one's a subsidiary, any of that stuff would ignore it. And the other thing is, while those other things exist, like some people are pointing out like towns and stuff, Isom, Nebraska or something, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're engaged in trade and that they're engaged in trade in the same work. The problem for Eric and the Rippaverse is that Isom, the School of Ministry, owns a trademark in category 16, which covers fictional printed works, books, comic books, magazines, all of that stuff is there. They own the specific category where he is engaging in trade. If these other places aren't printing works, they're only doing, I don't know, educational dance, yoga classes or something, that wouldn't matter. Like, it would not have any infringement. They also might just be so small that there's no likelihood of customer confusion. And I think the International School of Ministry versus a Muslim organization had a pretty distinguishing, sort of area of business. And that one probably kind of is self-explanatory as to why there wouldn't be consumer confusion.
So you're saying that it's likely that they already have an agreement in place. Is it possible that they could already be?
I didn't say it's likely. Please do not misquote me. We have zero information about that. And if there's a bunch of ISOMs that have existed for this period of time and engaged in trade, that could be the nail in the coffin. That alone could knock out the case. In theory, it could subject the School of Ministry to losing their trademark, because if they're not adequately protecting it, you can lose it. Ooh. That would be a counterclaim by Eric to have the trademark removed. Now, that doesn't mean that Eric would get the trademark, but it does mean that his thing would no longer be infringing because they don't own it anymore. That's all entirely possible. We don't know, because that information just isn't available. Now, in discovery, Eric's lawyers would likely send a list of interrogatories to the School of Ministry, and one of them would be, how have you defended your trademark against this? Please provide documentation. And if they got nothing, they'd be like, oh, baby, we're going to go to the fucking batting cage on you. That would be a thing. So that has gotten kind of lost in the discussion because we can't know at this point. People are like, well, there's all these things. That means, no, it doesn't mean anything. Or it might mean something. We'll find out eventually.
So is it possible that, and this is just me asking questions because I'm curious, I don't really know how any of this works.
Yeah.
So is it possible that like these other like ISOMs could be already paying a licensing fee or something to the trademark? Sure. Okay.
Yeah. And to be very clear, when you own a trademark and you want to license it, you have all of the flexibility, and you can license it to them for $1 or for an agreement not to fuck with their stuff, or for an agreement to just make sure they honor the good message of Jesus Christ, right? Like I can license to you something I own for any term, so long as it's an actual term.
Yeah.
That's how license agreements work. It could also be for $10 trillion. So yeah, it's entirely possible that there are license agreements that are even free between these people. But again, having evidence that you have defended your trademark, no matter how you do it, is a critical question that would come out in discovery if this thing goes on to that, presumably. But that's a question that we won't have, or we won't have answers to until that stuff maybe comes out, if it ever does.
Right.
So someone sends this email, they file the trademark lawsuit, and everybody's pissed at Dick and Vito for sending the email. They did not send the email. Eric heavily implies that Dick and Vito sent the email. When Eric was on my show and I asked him about that, he said he did not have any evidence to conclusively state that they sent the email. And I said, that's kind of weird, because I'm pretty sure that's what the claim has been the whole time. And he said, I never said that. I didn't say that. I don't have the evidence for it, which is annoying to me. And here's why it's annoying to me, Camelot, is because this whole thing, like, I didn't even want to talk about this fucking stupid shit. Like, I don't care about this comic book or Eric's like company. I've always wanted it to do forever infinity dollars. And I don't care what antics Dick gets up to, because he's an asshole who does stuff that I wouldn't do. But hey, here we are. But the whole thing was, why don't you condemn Dick and Vito for doing this thing? And I said, well, show me the evidence that they did. He did a video stating there was evidence about it and blah, 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 but he didn't explicitly say Dick and Vito. And then on my stream, he says he doesn't have the evidence for it. And I was like, that's all I asked in this whole fucking thing was, you want me to condemn someone, show me the thing that says they did it. And everybody swore it was there. And he says it's not now, way after the fact, after all this fucking garbage happens. And that's that. So that really pissed me off because I don't give a shit about this fucking comic book. I really don't. Never have. I didn't buy it. I think I promoted it one time near the end of the campaign. I might have had Eric on to promote it. I don't remember. But it's like, I wanted to succeed, but I also don't care if it ever existed or not. It's not my project. It's not my thing. Like,
You know what I was really surprised of? It was okay, so I feel like you could probably agree that Eric, me, you, EVS, which had a really, really interesting stream about this the other night that I watched.
yeah,
We all probably share a large portion of our audience with each other. And it was really strange to see the same tribalism play out that plays out in like leftist circles. Like people think that they're too good for that kind of thing. And then now I see so many people and it's like this Nick versus Eric thing. And I've never heard, like Nick really never not say that like he hoped Eric's business did well. And then it was like, well, if he doesn't condemn Dick, then everybody hated him. And I was like, this is weird. And I knew eventually, if it hasn't happened already, that I was going to be, I'm just against Eric now because we're friends. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I like Eric. Oops. Like shit. Oops.
I do too. I don't know if our relationship will ever be like repaired or whatever, which is probably too bad. But I think at the end of the day, he seems like a good, chill dude. We agree on fucking million things. And I think this is all stupid, which is why I didn't want to get into it. But at the same time, I could have easily taken his side, but I don't throw my friends under the bus without evidence. And to find out that after all these claims of all this evidence that was definitely coming, there was zero. That really fucking torques me off. I hate that shit because it's like, this was the whole narrative that was built. This is the whole reason why people were asking me every fucking show to comment on the thing I didn't want to comment on. But yeah. So the long story short, now there's a trademark lawsuit. They were trying to negotiate in back rooms. Isom alleges that they gave Eric till October 10th to respond, and he and his lawyers did not respond. So they moved forward with the lawsuit. That's when Eric released his video about the trademark, explaining about his grandfather or great grandfather or whatever, Isom Knox, and where the names of all these characters came from. The ministry released a video right after that sounded it was a stark contrast to Eric's sort of position, explaining the circumstances, saying they're still willing to settle, but if you don't meet the deadline, they had to go forward with the lawsuit because that's what they said they were going to do, and you didn't do the thing. But we learned in those two streams that there was a request for apparently an ongoing licensing agreement. And Eric took offense and umbrage to that proposition that he would have to pay them going into the future. And the Isom School of Ministry said, basically you're going to keep selling stuff into the future. So yes, these ongoing licensing deals are very common, which is true.
So in perpetuity, basically.
As long as you use the mark, yeah. Like if you make 3 Isom books and then no more, but you sell those 3 Isom books, you sell a couple copies every year, then yeah, it's going to probably be a percentage of sales as long as you're selling them, which is how every single entertainment licensing agreement in Hollywood and everywhere else works. Like Sony licensed Spider-Man. They don't own Marvel. They don't own Spider-Man, but they license Spider-Man. And every Sony Spider-Man, they pay a percentage of the box office and probably a percentage of DVD sales to Marvel for that licensing agreement, so long as they hold the license and so long as those movies sell. Now, there may be some effective cutoff, like 30 years or 40 years, when sure they'll have a de minimis amount of sales each year, but it's not relevant. They can do that. But the theory would be if they keep making Spider-Man movies, yeah, of course you're going to have to keep fucking paying for the license. Like that's how it goes.
If he, let's say going forward, he changed the name of the book, would he avoid that for future license?
Yeah, for any new future, like he could change the name of Isom 3, which is not out yet, to something like I said, the Amazing Isom, the Marvelous Isom, the Flying Isom, whatever you want to do, the Multi-Powered Isom. You could come up with a thing to change the trademark itself and have that be the label, because it's not the company. If the company Ripaverse was called Isom Inc., you'd have a different question and maybe a much harder question, but it's not. The company is Ripaverse. Isom is just one character in the universe that happens to headline a book. If it's a 3-book trilogy, maybe you stick it out and you go for it and you eat any negative ruling the court might provide, or you win. If you've got 10 books planned, 20 books planned, you might want to rethink that strategy. Renaming now is much less costly than renaming 5 books in, 6 books in. And trademark suits can go much longer than a year. So in 1 year, he's produced 2 books. Is he going to produce a book every 6 months? Because if this trademark suit goes 3 years, now you got 7, 8 books in.
Yeah.
And now the damages are much, much bigger if there are any.
That's interesting. I have a question. Let me get through these goofy super chats because they're piling up.
Yeah.
Samantha says, I want to say thank you for all the prayers for my sister, but she passed away Thursday morning. I'm sorry to hear that, Samantha. We've been talking in DMs for a while about it. It's been all on me, and I do have a GoFundMe. If y'all can help, we buried her today. Just send me the link to that on like Instagram or something if you can. Thank you, Samantha, and I'm sorry to hear that again. Like I've said before, I can't even imagine. Well, I can kind of imagine because it happened to me in 2017. But I'm sorry to hear that. And thank you for your support. Jessica says, here's some love from my favorite two gays. Back to homework, but I'll be listening. Thank you, Jessica. I love you. I appreciate you. Superstar says, hi, Cody, you hot man. I don't know what's going on, but I love comic books. Thank you, my friend. That's kind of how I was before this. Colby says, if I opened a yoga studio called Earthworm Gym, would that violate a trademark? Mascot would be an anthropomorphic rolled yoga mat.
No, because it's called Warm and Gym. Our gym is spelled, gymnasium versus JIM. Literally, those changes in letters are almost guaranteed to be sufficient. You don't typically own a phonetic mark. You own the actual mark that exists, what's printed on the fucking paper. Now, sometimes you can own a branding mark, like a stylized mark, like the Nike swoosh is a trademarked symbol, or a certain font that is used to write something out. But you can also own kind of the letter marking. It really just depends on the type of ownership. This gets really into the nitty gritty of certain types of trademark that I do not believe are at play here. Let me briefly say this last bit about trademark in general and in this suit specifically. What it comes down to is this: who owns the mark? Is someone else using it in trade? Do they have a right to, like a permission, a license, something like that? And then if they are using it, they don't have any right to. Is there a likelihood of consumer confusion? Now, the standard is called the reasonably situated consumer who has no special knowledge of any of the brands involved. And one way to look at this is if you have a shelf of things made by the Isom School of Ministry and then Eric, to someone who has no idea what these things are, go, these are the same, these might be the same company, right? So hypothetically, you're doing this and you go to a thing of published materials that the Isom Ministry posts. And remember, you are not you. This is important. You are not an internet autism who loves comic books and wipes their ass with old issues of Spider-Man because you have so many. You are not that. You are me, a retard who walks out into a store and looks at a shelf and goes, I don't even know Jesus or comics. And you walk up and you go, I have no idea what these are. Now you see 6 publications by the ministry, and each one has Isom in the top right corner. And the logo is going to be different, obviously, but they have that Isom. And then you look at this comic book with a superhero and a cross on his penis, and it says Isom right next to it. Are you going to tell me that you automatically, as someone who knows nothing about this, go, there's no way those two things are from the same company? You can't honestly do that. Does that mean that Eric loses? No. No. But you have to be able to step back from what you know and look at this and go, is there any way a normal person, and read normal as a dumb, because half of them are dumb. Half of people are dumb.
Yeah.
You just have, it's not even mean. It's just real.
Well, so, I mean, you can look at the chat sometimes and come to that conclusion because people are like, it's literally his grandfather's name. And I'm like,
yes,
I don't think that matters.
Like, it does not. Yeah. So it's, so you have to look at this as a dumb person with no knowledge walks up and goes, these two same thing, right? Is it hard to fathom that a Christian ministry produces a comic book? No, there's a bunch of them. Kingdom Come Ministries has an entire fucking Bible series of comic books that are very stylized and everything. So that's one issue. It's not the only issue in customer confusion. The other one was brought up recently by Isom. This is the last bit of it. I won't spend too much time on this because I know people are probably pulling their fucking teeth out. But the other part of brand confusion is not what you might buy, but how the brand is associated with actions. And one of the things they brought up is that now when people are Googling Isom, it used to be they got the School of Ministry. Now they get the school of ministry and the comic book. And the comic book might be in second place. It might be in first place. But the other thing they get are videos of Eric saying profanity, saying insults and attacks, which I love, by the way. I do it all the time, but they don't. And it's their brand. And now someone might go, wait, does this guy work for that ministry? Is he one of the guys? Is he a publisher? Is he a writer? Is he a graphic artist? Is he a marketing guy? I don't know who he is. So now you've got this potential negative association. Now, Camelot has the right to tear down the brand CAMELCAST if he actually can use it. I have no idea. Didn't search. Not my thing. But I cannot create CAMELCAST and ruin his brand for him. I cannot do that. I don't have the right to do that thing. And just because, Eric is successful and he didn't mean to do any of this, and that's very important. I don't think Eric meant to do this to the ministry in any way. I don't think he even meant to infringe. I don't think he checked, which is a big problem for him. But you don't have to try. But if you end up damaging their brand, that's like saying, look, you just opened up someone's Ferrari. It was sitting there, or no, it's a convertible Ferrari. It's parked on the side of the road. You don't have any right to be in it, but it's a convertible. So you step into the top, and while you're in there, you fall unconscious and shit your pants, and you cause $10,000 worth of damage to the leather seats that they made out of German children. Okay, now you fucked up their Ferrari, and you're like, well, I didn't mean to. And it's like, you were in my property without my permission, and you fucked my shit up. You didn't ask, none of that matters at this point because you did it. You didn't have the right to be there. And it's the same thing with a trademark. If you do not have the right to use a trademark and you fuck up someone else's shit, that's on you. And that's why the school of ministry now has this problem. And listen to me very carefully. I've said over and over a billion times, I do not think Eric commit charity fraud. Okay. But if you Google Isom charity fraud, you may find an accusation of fraud from Isom. Founded, unfounded, it doesn't matter. Now the Isom ministry, whose work relies on charitable donations, is negatively associated potentially with an accusation of fraud of a charity. And a lot of discussion is happening around it. So it's possible that thing is getting algorithmed up the YouTube or up the Google search results. Now you've got a real fucking issue, don't you? And I know you can say, well, he didn't mean to. He didn't do the charity thing. He didn't ask about it. Other people's chatter. I'm sorry. But the answer to that question is you shouldn't have used the mark that you didn't have the right to use. Now, of course, if a court says this is not infringing, he wins and it doesn't matter. But it's evidence of customer confusion. It is evidence of brand damage from someone who shouldn't have used their mark for their argument. Will it win? I don't know. I have no idea. Right now, I think Eric should win the lawsuit. I've said that from the start. I haven't changed my position. It's getting harder for him to win it by the day. That may eventually tip the scales in the other direction. I don't want him to go through this. I want it to be settled and done. I wish it was done with no money changing hands. I hate Trademark. I think it's fucking bullshit. It's really strict in some places and it's really loose in others. And I don't think it's fair. I don't think he had any negative intentions on any of this stuff, but he didn't do his due diligence. And he had lawyers who should have done it because they did it for Rippaverse LLC. Why didn't they do it for Isom is a big fucking question.
Yeah. And like you said, if you search on Google and you just type in Isom and you had no inkling of any of these things and you clicked Isom and you were interested in the ministry and, trying to work out something there. And then you saw the comic and you clicked on it and then the guy has a cross on his costume. Then you could easily see where somebody would be like, oh, these are the same thing. And then you pull up the YouTube channel and you see like some stuff that, some white people are really offended by shit, man. Like,
yes,
he said the N-word. I'm just freaking the fuck out, right? You know what I'm saying? So
he's like, that N-word said the N-word.
Yeah. So you can see, you could definitely see where people get confused that have no idea who either of the people are, or maybe they only know who the ministry is. And, so yeah, but I feel like it's easy for us to say that we could not see how people could see them being related because we know who Eric is in real life. So we're like, oh, well, I can't see how they would be related, Right. But
yeah. And if you're in this, here's something to consider though, guys. So, As Eric points out in his video, Isom's mission statement is to be in every church and to provide every church printed materials to help spread the ministry of the word of Jesus Christ or whatever in every church. People look at Eric and they go, wow, he's got 500,000 subscribers. It's huge. It's a big YouTube channel. And it is. It's fucking amazing. Hats off to him on that. That's a big audience. Isom, the ministry, has 20,000 physical locations. 20,000 physical locations, probably in churches with memberships of anywhere between 100 to 5,000 members. You're talking about a way bigger presence. Like, I've never heard of them. It's like, well, actually, you might have seen their stuff and never known because you were never looking, or you've never heard of them because you're not in those churches. But internet presences are silly. Like, Camelot and I can both attest to this.
Yeah.
The bigger you get, you still don't get recognized. Nobody sees you when you're out and like, oh, you're that guy. Like we're nobody. We're blips. We're blips on the fucking radar. This ministry is 20,000 sites across the world. The odds of someone knowing the ministry are higher. Now, they're not consciously looking for it, maybe, but their customer base is way bigger than 500,000. And when you're on the internet, it looks the opposite, but a lot of things do. And I'll tell you from personal experience, my 5 seconds in the Johnny Depp documentary trailer netted me more phone calls and messages from friends and relatives who I hadn't spoken to in years than any video, any viral appearance I have ever had. That tiny blip in Johnny Depp. I mean, my phone was fucking buzzing for days. And I'm like, I've been doing this for 6 years, assholes.
Imagine that. So on the opposite end of the spectrum, they put me in the GameStop documentary. And it was literally like, it was me talking and then it fades out and I'm like basically saying GameStop's about to go bankrupt, and then it fades out and then it was like, but it didn't. And I'm like, oh, they got me. They fucked me. They made me look like a dumbass. And dude, when it came out, like 20 people had DM'd me and they're like, oh my God, you're in a documentary. I'm like, what? What? No one even told me. They didn't even credit my ass. It could have said at least something. Didn't say shit. Me. I'm not even in there on IMDb. Those sons of bitches. They got me. But
it's just funny how like I know for me, I get so wrapped up in like internet identifiability, internet numbers or whatever. And once you're confronted at any point with the distribution that like legacy media still has, you're like, holy fuck, we are barely scratching the surface. We're not even close.
Yeah. Shanny says, love you, Code. Sorry, but in a MIA. I love you. Appreciate you. I talk to you every day. What are you talking about?
Every show I'm on, Shanny's like, oh, sorry, I'm MIA. Like every show.
Yeah.
How are you ever MIA? You're always around.
Yeah, she's always here. K2 to the Swiss. Thank you, my friend. I love you. Matthew Picard says, hey, Nick, longtime viewer, first time chatter. Are you still talking to or keeping up with Vic Mignogna? Those Ron Soy jokes still live in my head rent free.
Yeah, I do. I talk to Vic from time to time. Actually, I say that as I very desperately owe him a phone call that I'm going to try and get taken care of tomorrow. He wanted to talk to me about something, and I have been on kind of ships passing in the night with him. But yeah, I got to see him at Anime Matsuri. It's great. I'm hoping to get to see him one more time this year, but when it works out is always a mystery. But yes. And like I said, hopefully I'll be talking to him tomorrow. He had something he wanted to talk about. I have no idea what.
Vic's such a nice man. Like, me and him have drank whiskey together so many times and ate steak together and smoked cigars together. He's a great man. He's so welcoming. He didn't even know me. First time I ever met him, I walked up and he was like, Camelot. And I'm like, oh my God, Vic Mignogna. And he's told me, thank you. I don't even know. Why do you know who I am? It's because, it's because Anna told him. Kryptonian Jedi said, Nina just said on her stream that she takes all responsibility for this drama, but requires a percentage of all the super chats Nick gets from all of this.
Yeah, Nina, I'll send you a $12 check, man. This is the thing people don't, they're like, Nick is grifting off this. Like, first of all, if I was going to grift off this, I would have gone hard in from the beginning and picked a side and like really gone for it. Second of all, this does not drive super chats or revenue or viewers or anything. This has been from the start a loss. And I don't even give a shit about it. It's not my fucking fight. It's someone else's fight. And it's like people are trying to bring me in. Like, I don't want to talk about this. It's not good for me. It's entirely negative all the way through. The only thing would have been is, I guess I could have lied and thrown Dick and Vito under the bus and just said, I love Eric the absolute most and he's 100% right. But Anybody who knows me knows that one thing I'm very consistent on is never doing that thing. I do not chase views. I do not chase viewers. I do not chase subscribers. And I know a shitload of stuff that I would do and say will end up with a negative result for me. This has been negative from before I commented on it, which was months of time that everybody seems to fucking forget. Like, you just love the drama. No, I didn't want to talk about this. For months, I said, please leave me out of it. Please, please.
Nope. Well,
I get fucking nothing out of
not
this.
how the internet works, unfortunately.
No, I hate
Johan says, regardless, both Mash and Vito need to suck Sharda Moss. Jesus. Also, Cody, your language is infecting mine. I use the term floopy in a meeting. Bro, it's such a great word. Thank you, Johan. I love you. Slag Lust says, I've disliked Masterson for years before it was cool. His obsessive need to counter what's popular got old fast. That's called being a contrarian. He hates being reminded about his shoddily program scam new project too. Goomba. Thank you, Slogless. I appreciate you. I don't know anything about that. Samantha says, thank you, Cody. I have newfound respect for my husband. He not only helped carry my sister, but helped dig and bury her. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Samantha. I appreciate that. Yeah. Jesus, it's wild. Chris Way says, it's like saying don't watch Boku, but you don't know if it's no Puko or No Hero Academia. Man, I don't even know what any of that means either. Man, I'm
watch Boku no Pico. That's what it says. That's the one that's the one you want to watch.
If I opened a gym, Snow Rome said, called Piper Perry's exclusive Glory Hole Spectacular, do you think I'd be guilty of copyright infringement? Jim Satala says, what about the restaurant called Burger King's? Would that be a problem for Burger King? Or is it like McDowell's?
It should be sufficiently different. I mean, no one's going to Burger King's thinking they're getting a Burger King.
Yeah.
Right? Especially if your burger has dreadlocks.
Please.
It's got to be a way to do that. Like get little strings of beef hanging off the edges of your burger.
Be beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
Burger appropriation. Damocles says, Syracuse, the major problem with the average person standard can be summed up with a quote. George Carlin, think of how stupid the average person is and realize half of them are stupider than that. That's one of my favorite quotes of all time, actually. I say that very often. Thank you, Damocles. Charles G says, bring back internet blood sports. Eric versus Rekeda. Round 1. Go.
I think technically it would have to be round 2.
Yeah.
But no, thank you.
He's going to tie you up in his shoulder hair.
That's the thing. Those shows make me a fortune, and I don't like doing them.
Yeah. I mean, you're right, too. Like, it doesn't bring in, talking about this kind of stuff, although it brings in viewership a little bit, it doesn't really bring in super chats at all. And tonight's a great example, you know. I'm like almost I'm over halfway to Negative Snake now. But I feel like people get really interested in listening to it. So like they forget that that's a thing, and that's fine. But that's what happens when I talk really, really in depth about something. People are like, they're so active in listening to it, which is kind of how I am. I forget about everything. Thank you, Charles. Jake says, Jake or not says, John Deere will go after companies if they use paint too close to John Deere's shade of green and yellow. Thank you, Jake or not. I've actually heard of that before. Thank you. Slagless. Nick, when you gonna shake Trump's hand?
I don't know. I hope I will get to. I don't know if he's gonna be there when I'm there. I hope I will get to, but I have no idea. I'm not going to see. I'm going to Mar-a-Lago, Cody.
I heard about it. Yeah. Did you? Do you remember? I thought it was so gay when they took Trump out of Home Alone 2. They edited him out of it because they're like, we just don't like him. I'm like, that's so gay to me. You edit him out of a movie from the 90s because you're like, I don't like him. He's mean. He's mean.
Yep.
He says he likes Mexican food.
Yeah, it's fucking insane. I'm going there for a completely different purpose. I don't know if he'll be there or not. If he is, it'll be hilarious, and I'll try and get a picture. If not, that's not why I'm there. So,
yeah. Thank you, Maiden Iron says, damn it, Chunky, all this happened because we haven't watched Death Wish 5.
That's true.
Iron. Appreciate you. Every red boy after this point, I'll be taking a shot of Woodford. I haven't done that in like 6 months. I think that would be fun because I've only had one drink and I don't have any ice, and I don't want to go downstairs right now. So if
I have to do that,
you do not have to do that.
I probably will though.
I guess I will. Hey, it's Steph, the altar nerd. God, this girl, her boobies are beautiful. You've never seen her boobies, but her boobies are beautiful. They're like, they're sneaky boobies. She has sneaky boobs. Like when she takes the shirt off, they're just way better than I expected. You know?
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about. No, I do. Yeah, I know it.
They're like
I know
nice
exactly
and
what you're talking about.
rounded. They're like really rounded and nice looking and like kind of perky. And I'm like, interesting.
Kind of perky.
Yeah. You don't want them to be super perky. You want them to be kind of.
I don't know. It's your description. I've never seen them.
She takes her shirt off on my show all the time. Thank you, Steph. I appreciate you so much. Can't wait to have you back on. It'll be a lot of fun. She's easily one of the best guests ever. She's so much fun. Thank you, Steph. I love you for your orange boy. Oh, don't forget Jeezy boys. You guys ready for some Jeezys? Jeezy! Oh my God. Says $1 for every pound lost so far, down to $1.92. Appreciate your motivation for the naked snake. Dude, you're like, that's like normal weight now. You're good. That's like less than I weigh.
Wait, is he 5'1"?
Well, if he is that, then he's overweight. Thank you, Jeezy. I appreciate you.
192. How tall are you? 3'6".
Oh, so you're a circle. Your name.
I got legs.
Oh my God, that voice. That reminds me of, dude, I just watched that shit. Shani knows what I'm talking about. The South Park episode where the little midget dude comes in and he's like telling Eric to stop making fun of him for being short, and all Eric does is just laugh because he's like, oh, look how cute he is in his little suspenders, and he's like, you shut your mouth, making fun of people is not like, and then he's like, I'm gonna kick your ass, and they're like fighting. Oh my God, that's such a great episode.
I haven't seen that one, but I'm gonna look it up.
To Toby, words are like bullets. See, let me tell you about. Oh my God. Oh, speaking of, let me tell you about Eric Vinegar. Coming in and making the stream extra interesting. Let me pour this, and then I have a question for you. It's gonna be interesting. Here we go. Let me pour this real quick in honor of Eric. Whose idea was it to put suspenders?
Eric Linegar. Wait a minute. God damn it. By the way, Steph the Alter Nerd, I asked you a very important question in chat. I sent Bob's. You did not respond. I said, when are you going to force yourself onto my show? When is that going to happen? What the hell? You're out here talking about Meghan Markle all the time and the royals or whatever weird Scottish shit you do.
Dude,
out there, you're like, Scotland! We like England, but we don't want to be with him or whatever. I don't know what they fucking talking about.
Her voice is so beautiful. At first, I was like, ugh. And then, like, after like an hour, I was like, it's like the meme where the lady's like, yeah.
She just sounds like Dankula.
Yeah, dude. Beautiful voice. Thank you, Eric.
Drinker. Do we know?
It'll be fine. Yeah. Oh, Drinker. Drinker's a great man. I just email him and he just comes on my show, and I'm like, well, I don't know why he does that, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
He's cool as shit, man.
He's a great man. Thank you,
I
Eric.
need to have him on. I'm so lazy.
Get on a dog on it.
Cheers.
Ooh.
This was a mistake.
Oh my God. All right. First one down, Eric. Appreciate you, dude. Thank you. And that puts us like 30 from Naked Snake. And then Steph responded to you. She says she's happy to jump on. She's happy to jump on. That's what I like to hear.
She's like, if there's an invitation, apparently the Scots stopped listening. I said, when are you going to force yourself onto my show? That would imply that no invitation was necessary, that you would force your way on. But yes, I will extend an invitation because we should chat. It'd be cool.
Yeah.
She hangs out with all my friends.
Yeah, she just, well, it took us a month to schedule the show because she kept going out of the country. And then I was out of town, and then she was out of town.
I would leave Scotland too.
Yeah, dude. Charles says, by the way, Camelot, you can't die unless I tell you can. I never gave you permission, so you better stay alive. I'm happy you're well after your accident. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. I had black eyes for the first time since being like a kid.
You had black eyes for the first time since you were a kid?
5 of them, yes. No, I had the helmet like got pulled up, I guess, with my Hans device and like hit my bones right here or whatever, and they were like black. It's weird.
Outlaw says she's English, lol, Yorkshire, not Scottish. Not in this headcanon. Sorry, Steph. Scottish forever. I can't back down from a position. This is how it will be for the rest of my life. I'll die, and I'll be like, I remember talking to that one Scottish chick that one time.
Yep, that's what I still think she's Scottish. She's told me 100 times that she's not Scottish, and I still say she's Scottish.
She is.
You can't get out of it. So I have a question. So there was this, I was watching Eric. I think he was streaming. Eric July. He was either streaming or he made a video. I think he was streaming though. And he claimed that you haven't reached out to him like through text or anything. Is that true?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So here's the complicated aspect of this is when I first had a stream with Eric on Thursday, and then I streamed with Dick on Friday, and I really did. People will either believe this or not, it doesn't really matter, but I really did try to ask Dick tough questions in the interview I had with him. The hard part about it, because people are like, you wouldn't go at Dick this hard. It's like, well, Dick would not respond in the way that Eric does. It's very disarming on how he responds, because you don't have something to bounce back on and you go, okay, but what about this? And when I could, I did that. But outside of that, though, I was very frustrated with some of the shit that I had known for a long time about the situation. Again, why I tried to stay out of it. I'm not going to repeat it. It's all in that video. And I dropped all of that stuff there when I had enough liquor and was also mad enough to do so. That being said, I don't take back anything I said as far as like facts and stuff like that. But I probably came at him a little like way harder than I should have, as far as like just being personally insulting. I thought that was really uncool of me. So my plan was to let things kind of cool down and blow over for a little bit, and then reach out, talk it out, and have a thing. That plan worked really well until it didn't blow over or cool down. It's only heated up, and things have gone crazier and crazier. And I feel like weird calling and being like, hey man, I want to smooth this thing over. So I would like to do that at some point. I think in the interim, I'm going to send him a long private message, and I'll state public, like, I don't expect him to do this, and I'm not asking him to, and this isn't a challenge or anything, but I know the nature of private messages are weird. So I'm going to write him a long private message, and I will say that I fully, again, I fucked up on that one, my approach, and I mean that very seriously. And with that, I said, he can think I'm an asshole or whatever forever, and he'd be justified in doing so because I acted like an asshole. But I am going to send him a very long message saying, at one point I do kind of want this, be able to talk this out. I feel it's weird with everything fucking going on. And I've been talking about the legal issues a lot, drama issues a little bit, mostly trying to focus on the legal stuff because I'm still going to talk about that. And I try to limit any drama talk I have to his fans who are interacting with me on Twitter, which are fucking funny. But I will give him full permission to release, like, without any animus or negativity, the content of that long message that I'm going to send him. And it's going to contain a lot of what I want to say. But I feel really weird being like, hey, I just want to talk this out, but then know that in 2 days, something else is going to happen or come up. And it's going to be talked about more and more and more. When things kind of actually eventually die down, happy to do so. People are very tribal on the internet, and they'll never believe you when you say you wish someone success. I really do. I hate that this is all happening. I hate that it's got the legs that it has. Doesn't mean the legs are genuine or whatever, but it's just that people are going to keep going after this, and it's like this self-feeding conflagration. I fucking hate that, because I love the idea of the Ripperverse. I want independent creators to have places that blow up and get big, and you can go buy stuff from people who don't hate you. So I love all that, but I think he has some real problems that I'm going to lay out in that message. Don't mistake it. It's not like you did a bad thing. It's like, here are the areas where I think your approach is causing you some issues. And I say this as a person who has been through assholery on internet circles, in the worst of them, right? Through like internet blood sports and all that stuff, and all those fucking monsters. Like, you're now dealing with a monster. Now, no matter how much I like Dick or whatever, he is that internet monster born and bred in the fires of 4chan and its predecessors, right? Like, you have to deal with them in a certain way, and it doesn't work the way that you would deal with every other problem on earth, because they're broken and disgusting people. Like, they're fucking dysfunctional. Yeah. Just spend a minute looking at someone like me or Dick or Medicare or Josh Moon or Ralph or Worski. Look at any of us and try and find a well-adjusted human being in there. You won't. They're all pieces of shit. So, like, I will give him some advice on how to deal with pieces of shit and say, when this is over, I will buy you 7 million beers or whatever, and we can hang out and talk sometime, because I really hate how it's panned out. And at the end of the day, I think he's a good dude who's made some bad fucking choices. And yes, obviously, I got mad at some of those choices. Some of them have personally impacted me, and I thought they were very unfair, and I am not infallible on that shit. And that's why I have the whole desire to apologize in the first place. When you fuck up, and you apologize to the person you fucked up to. But I don't take back the substance or the facts of anything I've said. It's all true. Until someone shows me otherwise, everything I said was in full good faith on the factual merit of it. But the the tone and the language, which is why I didn't want to talk about this in the first place, because I knew all this stuff I said I've known for months. All the time I was saying I don't want to talk about this was because I knew all of the stuff that I was going to have to say. Leave me alone.
I have a interesting question for you. Hold on 1 second. All right. Trying to get some ice delivered to me. I need ice. Let me get these 2 super chats and I'm gonna ask you this question because it's very interesting. I've been watching something play out in the background. Mike Sullivan says Steph is great. Maybe Nick can teach her how to pronounce Yorkshire instead of Yorkshire. How she says it. Yorkshire.
It's Yorkshire. What the fuck's wrong with you, Steph? Do you not know basic English?
Yeah. It's adorable when she says it. Yorkshire. Yorkshire.
Oh, do you speak the Queen's English? The Queen for cut Queen, Steph?
Marcellus says, I'm obsessed with Metal Gear Solid. It's my favorite gaming series. I even paid to have a custom-made steelbook of every game. Look up Albert Veruna. I also picked up Rex model kit at Comic-Con. Thank you, Marcellus. I agree with you. It is easily my favorite franchise. I feel the same way about Metal Gear as a video game as I do Lord of the Rings as a film series. It's more of an experience than it even is for a film or a game. Thank you, Marcellus. So I've noticed. So I watched a stream the other night, and it was EVS, and that stream was there was a lot of people on that stream, and I'm watching this weird thing happen where indie comics are like, there's this infighting, like destroying each other thing. How did EVS even get involved in this?
Well, that's a long story. The long and short of it is, again, guys, you have to realize that creators have, we have our communications out on streams or whatever, but people talk and gossip. We're all a bunch of bitches, all right? Like we're talking behind the scenes all the time, and words spread around. That's when you find out about things like that are at issue here. Again, I'm not going to repeat this shit. It's not really necessary. Ethan got what he calls a quote unquote night letter from Eric a couple months ago. And that what a night letter is it's an implied threat. Like, look, you can, if this thing keeps going this way, then, well, nice channel you got there. Be a shame if someone shit all over it, or be a shame if a bunch of people turned against you type stuff, was how Ethan took it. Other people don't read it that way. I read it that way. 1,000%. Again, it's one of the things I think was a big misstep. And, I think, and then he described a phone call that followed. And in that phone call, he alleges, we can't know because it's a phone call. He alleges that Eric said, you're not as important to indie comics as you think, or something along those lines, which I think is a very bold statement to make about Ethan Van Sciver, who's kind of really built Comicsgate as an independent comics vehicle quite a bit. Now, Eric has the campaigns that have done the biggest numbers. That is true.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe has caused a conflict of ego amongst those two individuals. I don't sell comics, so, I don't really care who's got the biggest selling comic or whatever. But I think that was involved there. And I think what you had was Ethan not acquiescing to a desire for some sort of loyalty, because as hard as this is for people to hear, I really don't think that Ethan doesn't like Dick Masterson. In fact, I think he likes him. He's been on his show. He's talked to him before. And, so that sort of thing it probably put him in a similar place to me. Like, I don't want to mess around with any of this stuff, but also I'm not going to come out and condemn people. And he said on that stream, he really didn't want to get involved because he has direct sales overlap with Eric, right? Buyers of books are buyers of books and both of those audiences. I don't sell books. For me, it's entirely viewers and super chats and all that stuff, which is a completely different world. But Ethan, his bread and butter is selling Cyberfrog. And Isom buyers buy Cyberfrog, Cyberfrog buyers buy Isom in some numbers. And so he kind of was like, you make a business decision. You don't want to get into it. But apparently there are now two specific people on the internet who have alleged that not getting into it was a sign of not taking the correct side. And it meant that you were taking the other side. I don't know who the other person is on that, but they stated it pretty fucking clearly. And so now Ethan has come out with that same exact sort of indication. And it is a pretty fucking bombshell stream from Ethan, actually. Like
well, he showed a text message or something, right? That was weirdly veiled in threat. It was like
that's what I was talking about with the night letter.
Yeah.
It could be taken to read. There are a bunch of people who are pissed at you. I've been holding them back, but you don't seem to be on my side. So if you're not, maybe I'll just let them go. That was the implication from EVS. I'm paraphrasing what he said. I'm not trying to put words into the fucking text. You can go read it on the all caps comics Twitter account. The letters there, and you can watch that stream to determine for yourself. I'm just trying to provide a helpful summary for people. I'm not making value judgments, but it kind of looked like Ethan was just a little too neutral, which is the exact same sentiment that I received, was informed about long before I received it. But yeah,
dude, I watch EVS a lot. I love Ethan. I mean, I've had him on my show before a couple times. He's a great dude. And I don't know anything about, this conflict other than I've heard Ethan say, we should be open to criticism because criticism is what makes our books better. And somehow that put him on the other side of everything. And it's weird to me. I feel like that's a kind of a reasonable thing to say. Right.
Yeah, I think so.
Weird. Like, I mean, I'm open to criticism. I look at comments sometime and it's like, hey, your intro's too long. I'd be like, all right, well, I'll shorten that up a little bit and see how people respond. It doesn't really bother me. I don't like tell them that they're bitches.
You could just read a criticism, go, fucking stupid, and move on. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
The reaction to the criticism was not great.
Yeah, I mean, when my editor gives me like constructive criticism, I just tell him who has the following.
Yeah,
I call him a fig.
Always remind an editor whose name is on the check. It's like, when it's yours, then we'll talk.
God, those sons of bitches always think they run everything. Anyways, damn you. Let me get a few of these super chats because there's some big ones. Is this Mint? I think this is Mint. Oh my God. Says, I'll send a red boy if you guys watch it. It's a funny song video. Otherwise, nice night. Young Clippa. Is that Mint?
No, that's Riley.
That's Riley. Okay.
Yeah. Riley's the fat retard.
Oh,
Mint is Riley's girlfriend or whatever.
Okay, Riley's the smelly guy.
Yeah, I don't know if it's more embarrassing to be Riley or to be Mint and dating Riley.
That's what I was thinking. That's weird.
Yeah. Sorry, Mint. You're super nice, but
yeah, she was on Zia's show yesterday. They were both in bikinis. It was great. And she's weird. She's so weird and it's hilarious. She was like, remember that time I gave you Advil? I kept Advil all day and it was uncomfortable. Anyways, thank you. And I'm like, what the fuck just I'm like, okay. she's funny. I just dropped a cool music video diss track. If you play it on stream, I'll send a pink boy. Actually, I'll send a red boy in the next one. I guess I can play that. That'd be fun. Wait, what is it on? Is it on YouTube? I don't want it. I better not say anything crazy. We'll see. Wait, it says where is it at? Wait, how do I find this shit? Recent tweet. I'm banned on Twitter. ASC. I'm banned.
Riley sent it to me.
Okay, I'm about to say I'm banned as hell on Twitter. Thank you.
I'll pass it along.
Carson says, for every fat shame, I'll eat a dilly bar as tribute. Love you guys. Thank you, Carson. I appreciate you so much. You're goated as hell. I'm on like the 200th appeal. I appeal like 5 times a day when I'm just bored, and it's the same shit. Thank you, Carson, for your pink boy. The pink boys are starting to add up, and we're only 350 from 5 milk. Holy shit, dude.
Oh, shit. That means we passed the naked snake.
We passed the naked snake. Steph's like, when is it happening? I'm like, it's going to happen. It's coming. It's like the dragons. It's like the dragons in the Game of Thrones. Oh, they're coming. I promise. They're coming. Thank you, Carson.
I think I've decided, though, I might start just on my locals or whatever. actually reviewing all these independent comics because I've read zero of them.
Yeah.
I haven't reviewed them. I haven't reviewed their art. I haven't even looked at most of them. I just go find out where I get killed. And maybe I should. I'm not going to do it on the main. It's supposed to be a funny thing to me, so I might do it there. I used to have a media channel where it would have been perfect, but then I got banned.
Yeah, I have an alt channel that went to the moon recently for no reason.
Nice.
That's been really cool. About to hit 10K subs on it, so go follow it, everybody, just in case I get banned here. That's very important. Go follow my alt channel. It's in the chat in about 10 seconds because somebody will post it.
Yeah, you should be able to. This is it's on Twitter. I posted it in the private chat. You should be able to pull it up on incognito mode.
Incognito mode. All right, I got it. We're gonna pull it up and watch this. This isn't gonna make me like on a side, right? Oh damn, Camelot's on the other side now. Hold on, let's see.
Probably will. Like you already are, I'm sure. And again, that's not Eric. That's that is the segment of the Rippaverse fans that are literally like they're out they're fucking out there in their reaction to things. Like we could talk if you want about the gravestone. I think most people are tired of the gay drama though, so we can talk about literally anything else. But like the response to the gravestone's like, yeah, air him out. It's like, wait, with bullets? Like Jesus Christ, it's a picture.
Damn. Yeah, so I don't know. I think the case is like kind of fascinating because I don't really know anything about trademark law, so it's actually kind of interesting to follow all of it. That's why I like talking about it. The drama's something else entirely. All right, here is the the diss track. It better not be gay. Okay, if it's gay, I'm gonna be angry.
Yeah. Isom cannot save you. All hail the Rippaverse. Isom cannot save you. Yeah, every true lie you lie, but I see through you with your tough facts. You must rap a backwards, dude. You got vapid, click flaccid, and egomaniacal. I'm just mannequin, have no reason to lie to you. You think that I'm joking, guys? Now you just assuming it attracted to the few to say the Rippaverse is moving, bitch. I love to burn down farms. I am not new to this. My fat ass had his last supper like Judas did. I'm trying to.
I just real quick, I love these random people back here.
They're great. God, fucking Riley, you're such you. If me punching you in the face isn't in this video, I'm gonna be so fucking mad at you.
The amount of cringe is just oh god, it's beautiful. Oh wow. Look at all these people like back here. It's like
yeah, I'm pulling a cringe muscle. It's right next to my taint and halfway in my anus. Fuck you, Riley. God
yeah, my penis is inside me. But let's keep
you
going.
Slav squatting near a half-eaten pizza is embarrassing. What, did Vito fall off the roof and land there? What the hell's wrong with you?
Oh my god.
Straight up gas, right? Young Ripper, rude shit. I'm trying to shave him, trying to shave him. I'm gonna do this shit. 30 years old, you already need a facelift. Something to carry on, you a black on the face. Oh shit. For the place of the dead, they replace you. And you know that you're slave to the same relation. The grip doesn't.
We gotta be honest here. Riley's shoulder's pretty hairy.
That's what I'm. Okay, can I be real for a minute?
How dare you, Riley?
Can I be real? So one of the whole like drama things here, and this is entirely reaction based. Like the reaction determines what the meaning of everything was.
Yeah.
When Riley showed up at Rippa's studio, which I have said Riley is a fat retard and should not have done that.
That's actually something we should probably bring up real quick. Yeah. So this is the guy. Riley's the guy that went to Rippa's warehouse, and it was like a big deal for like 3 days, where he was like they like said he was trespassing, but he technically wasn't because there was an open like driveway or something, right?
Yeah, it was definitely not trespassing. Let's be very clear on that. It was definitely not trespassing. And I know that some people have said that Riley has been charged with felony stalking. As far as I have seen, that is not actually true. There is no warrant out for Riley's arrest in Collin County or in Plano, and I have not found any outstanding charges. Does that mean it's not? Does that mean it hasn't happened? No, but no one has actually produced a charging document or a warrant. People have only produced an incident report, which I don't even think has Riley's last name on it. You're certainly not looking at a charging document if there's not a last name of the person on there. But that being said, I have not seen it. I have not seen anybody post it. If they do, if you have the charging document for Riley for that incident of showing up to the thing for a felony stalking charge, I would love to see it. I would love to see that. I don't believe it exists. And people have just asserted that Riley is definitely charged with a felony. If he has a felony, a warrant would be applicable in all 50 states. He could be arrested in any state and extradited right back to Texas to face his warrant without much issue at all. So that is pretty sure that's not a thing as far as I can tell. But, you know, I haven't seen everything. But if somebody has the charging document, not an incident report, please send it to me. I'd be happy to review it and make fun of Riley for being fucking stupid. But what I said about that is very clear. And I mean this. I think at the time, it's a very bad decision because things were very hot. Obviously, Eric was not happy about what was going on and what ended up happening. That being said, it's not trespassing. It's not stalking. It's not illegal. It's a shitty prank. But here's how the way to respond it would be, though. Because the whole thing was Riley was going to show up and apparently shave Eric's shoulders forcefully. If Eric came out of the fucking workshop smeared with shaving cream on his shoulders, this whole thing is a million times funnier and ended that moment. It was over. Because he would have been funnier than Riley, who wasn't funny. The only thing that made Riley funny was the ridiculous response of, I can kill this man over taping money to my door, is the most insane proposition and my lawyers supported that. No, if they did, fucking ventilate them, I guess. I don't know. That is silly nonsense. But if Eric could come out with shaving cream on his shoulders and says, let's go, bitch, what's up? That would have been the funniest shit on the planet. And everybody probably would have had some drinks and laughed, and it would have been over. The trolling would have ended immediately, in my humble opinion. Because how do you recover? As Riley, how do you recover from that? You might as well go bury yourself next to Isom Knox, because you're fucking dead. You lose.
Yeah, well, it would have never got to that point anyway if Eric would respond in that manner, I think. Because he would have already responded in that manner to some degree. Look at this lolicon guy. He looks so uncomfortable the whole video, like in every shot.
Well, there's no lolly around. He's like,
damn, I'm only around like 30-year-old men. This sucks.
Just need my lolicon.
Right,
actually, I think that might be an anti-lolicon shirt. I think, because I think it might be in regards to Digibro, but I don't remember.
Thank God. Let's continue this travesty.
Sell out of scope the base. You cannot feed your friends on such a tiny plate, dude. What's your 4-year plan when the funds are lacking? I'm only asking because you didn't make it when you were rapping. Oh, that's right. The warehouse you packing and jacking it in, huh, Eric? Have fun working in distribution, Eric. One book a year is not a new institution, Eric. But you know that. They're creatively.
Is there just like a Murcielago like behind this motherfucker?
I don't know. If I was the owner of that Lamborghini, I would sue Riley for making it smell. By the way, if after you click play, if you click back into the StreamYard window, it'll play smoother.
Okay.
It's
bankrupt, but your flow's whack. You're still profiting. The Kathleen Kennedy of black-owned comics, then. Yeah! I'll whip another verse if you don't let me shave you. I'll hell the clip of verse. Isom cannot save you. I'll whip another verse if you don't let me shave you. I'll hell the clip of verse. Isom cannot save you. Pull up. Yeah, pull up. I said pull up. I'm about to pull up.
Can you do a
I'm about to pull up. I'm about to pull up.
Oh, this is rough, man. I don't know if this is worth $100 super chat.
How long is this, Riley? Jesus Christ.
All right, guys. This is my friend Eric July, one terrier. Because I have more testosterone than Eric July. You're a fucking pussy. You're a fucking pussy. They all agree with me. You fucking loser. Apologize. Apologize.
All right. Okay. That's enough of that. Jesus.
God damn it, Riley.
You know what? Maybe Eric should have went out there and just pulled his gat out. Just we wouldn't have got that video. It's so great. Apologize. He sounded like the lemon dude from fucking Adventure Time.
Oh my God. What a disaster.
Oh my God. They both have hairy shoulders.
Riley, those bars were so weak, I wouldn't have even walked in one.
Oh, Jesus. Well, I mean, the quality. Now, to be fair, I'll give them a little bit. The quality of like the vocals were all right. They weren't like distorted and awful. They were like kind of normal sounding. So at least there's that.
Someone mixed it well, I guess.
Thank you for the Red Boy. I don't know if that was actually worth that. Actually, after watching it,
we gotta take a shot. I've been drinking this shot, so I'm gonna finish it. But you gotta take one.
Yeah, let me pour one. Hold on. And then we got Eric right after that. Thank you, ASE. Appreciate you. The cringe was over 9,000. But I'm a man of my word. I guarantee you that I'm on the list now for playing that shit. That was oops. Damn.
Charlie says that was a terrible dad joke. Yeah, it's a dad joke. None of them are good.
Thank you. All right. So we got another shout out.
The only good dad jokes are the ones who disappear because they're black.
Rip. Last cheers.
Cheers.
All right. All right. So thank you. Appreciate you. And I wish I was back on Twitter so I could have saw that and cringed before being told it was cringe. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Eric Leniger says, if Isom has to change the name and Rippaverse keeps blowing up, won't that make the existing issues worth more? Also, thanks for saying my name with the hard R, Nick. Yes. Won't that make the existing issues worth more? So like if he doesn't change the name, is that what he's saying?
So that's a point that no, if he does change the name, because then there'll be like this collector item of the original Isom thing. That's an interesting point. I have raised the same point. I was a little frustrated that Eric did the liquidation sale for $5 a piece because I had posited, and I was actually corrected by I think EVS on my stream when I brought this up. I had posited that he could have instead changed the name, liquidated at a higher price for the collector's item Isoms that would no longer be printed, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Ethan says the problem with that though is there's over 50,000 copies of the book, so it's not scarce, it's not rare. Even if it's never printed again, the likelihood is there not going to be many Isom #1s printed again ever. Like something magical would have to happen to make an insane swell of demand. 50,000 copies is a fucking ton of copies of a comic book. So that's the counterpoint from Ethan. Look, he's been in the business way longer than me. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, you can make scarcity. This will never come back again. We're gonna rerun it as the new cover. People will buy that, and you have this cool like limited edition thing. Ethan says, no, there's too many in circulation though to make it actually worth it. I don't know if that's true or not. That's just the counter argument. And like I said, I'm not a comic book salesman.
Thank you, Eric. I appreciate you. I hope that was sufficient. Thank you for the red boy. We are 150 until 5 milk. Thank you, Eric, so much. 150 until 5 milk. What is it? What is the math there? 650 until double 5 milk. Eric, I love you. Appreciate you for all that you do for me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This man has been a supporter, a large supporter for a while. And I really appreciate it. I don't deserve any of that shit. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So we'll cover the rest of the super chats here in a bit. Just real quick, guys, I have an alt channel that I launched because I was getting banned on every social media for a while. And it was over the stupidest shit. It was like somebody in high places was pissed at me. It was really weird. I didn't really do anything wrong on half of them. It was really freaking weird. Because I don't say anything very spicy. So it was really strange. I'm still banned on Twitter, which is whatever. But I have an alt channel for a backup of my YouTube. So please follow that. It's going to be in the chat here in a second. Type in !ALT alt. It'll bring it up. It's almost to 10,000 subscribers. It's been going really well lately. So please give that some love. And also like this stream in honor of my boy, REKIETA Law. Are you still coming to my house in November?
I don't know. It depends on when.
That'd be great. That'd be a fun time. Because I don't have it. I know it. I'm gone every weekend, right? Every other weekend I'm somewhere. Like I was Nashville with you, racing all the time. And I'm like, oh man, it's finally over. All of it's over. And I know by the middle of November, I'm going to be stir crazy. I already know I'm going to be like, this sucks, man. I want to do things. So we need to consider that. So,
yeah, I want to. The question is always, can either Lady Raggeds come with me, or can we get and we can get away from the kids, or am I gone at a place where like she's able to deal with whatever the kids need while I'm gone?
Yeah.
Those are two very tough questions that always depend very specifically on timing. We're headed out November first for just a like a 2-day or an overnight or something.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't know. It'll really depend on the day. But we'll talk about it in DMs. I want to really bad come out and hang out and do some driving and shit. But
yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
So so you know what's something really retarded? So you lick the bottle every time you take a drink. Or you pour a drink, and I guess it's people that don't drink whiskey, specifically whiskey, but everything, but whiskey specifically. I guess it's people that don't drink whiskey or pour drinks. Don't understand why you would do that. That's so weird to me. Like, it leaves this freaking awful fucking ring, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. So it doesn't matter what you do. Whenever you pour whiskey, there will be a drip of this brown aged fermented liquid will go down the side of the bottle, and it will go immediately to the bottom of the bottle, which will create this ring. Even it's like one drip is enough the way it works. It will create this ring that will sit there and be sticky and gross, and it will solidify unless you wipe it off specifically with a towel, or you can just lick it for 1 second and never have that problem ever in your life.
Yeah, so I always just, when it happens to me, I just bump it with my thumb. I like to roll it up with my thumb every time. So everybody has a different thing.
The reason I lick it is because I'm on camera.
Yeah,
like it's funny to lick the tip, right? Like, that's the joke.
Yes,
that's the joke. Is you're licking the tip. People are always like, "You're an alcoholic." It's like, well, I mean, probably, but not because of that.
Yeah,
it would be the 9 shots, not the one drip that you lick. Like, that's the thing. But no, I've done it forever. Ever since I started drinking whiskey and pouring my own. And I think every single YouTube show where I've had where I've poured a sip of whiskey, I will intentionally pull it up and lick it. It's very performative at this point. If I'm pouring someone else whiskey at my house, I'm not licking the bottle. Like, right in front, like, here's your, and then pour some. Like, I don't do that. That'd be fucking weird. You do it because you're on camera. You're on camera. You do things differently than normal a little bit. But even if you're not licking it, what you say, you'd either take your thumb, wipe it off, lick your thumb or whatever, or you just wipe it with a rag or a napkin or something, because you don't want that ring of fucking putrid liquor. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but if you leave liquor out for like a day, it reduces really quickly into this sludge that is gross and gets hard to clean. It smells bad. You don't want it. So
yeah, I agree with that. I think we all have a thing, and mine's just thumb. I thumb it, and then sometimes I'll lick my thumb, sometimes I won't. But that was like a weird. So that brings me to an interesting topic that I really enjoy talking about.
Is it that we're taking a shot for Eric's $100 super chat that you're trying to ignore? You bitch. You bitch.
I'm already feeling fucked up a little. I'm on my middle of the week diet, so I'm only taking 1,800 calories per day on the middle of the week, and then through the weekend I'm lax because it's the end of the year. January, I'm trying to get ready for the January cut. January to April I'll cut really hard and try to get real shredded for the year. And also, I would like to lose 20 pounds. That'll help out with my racing. 20 pounds is a lot for racing. So I think we were right at 3,200 pounds last time we weighed the car, and I would like to be at 3,180 or 3,170. So let me pour a shot for fucking Eric, bro. All right, there it is. Oh, spilled it on me. There it is. Now you got me wanting to lick the damn bottle. I looked at it.
Do it. Lick the tip, Cody.
Lick it.
Lick the tip.
Let's take a shot and then move on to the next question I have.
I have a bitch shot. It's like half a shot.
You can't see mine. It has my old car number on it that I don't race. Everybody's like, "Wow, you wrecked your car!" How? And I'm like, "No, I didn't. I wrecked somebody else's car, and I did not own that car." And then the team built me a new car within 2 weeks that we raced, and it was actually pretty fast. We finished 5th last weekend. So get on it, doggone it, with a nose on the hood.
Cheers.
All right. So, here's my next question, because it's something that I enjoy and everybody encounters it, especially Ripa. So there's this site called Kiwi Farms, and I don't even know how to access this some bitch. I've tried before. I don't even know how to get into it. I mean, you Google it, nothing works. You have to there's some weird program. I don't fucking know. So
I was off the ClearNet for a while. You had to use Tor because it was technically on the dark web, which just meant you had to use the Tor browser. And but now it's back. It's not .net or .com anymore. It's like .st or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's out there somewhere.
So real quickly, I gotta read this message. And
Oh,
Josh
shit.
says, I don't usually like Cody scamming his viewers, but if Nick has to do fight milks in those red boys, I have finally got you on my side of the scamming. Yes, you have joined the grift.
Dude, I'm not in a fight milk mood tonight.
Dude, I've never.
I mean, I will do it. I'll
Oh,
just hate it.
So Kiwi farms exist, and normally, what I would expect is all this shit that's happening with Eric. You know, they would be like fucking foaming at the mouth to shit on Eric, but it just so happens that they were already shitting on you.
No.
Therefore, since tribalism exists, they support Eric because you're perceived as like a threat or something. Isn't that's weird, right?
Yeah. Real quick, let me address this in the chat. Dom V says, awesome. I'm going to have to leave you. I was a fan of yours for a long time. Cheers. Thanks, buddy. But now you've made yourself an enemy of geeks and gamers by following Nick REKIETA, who literally hangs out with Petra. Oh, he's talking to you.
Oh,
now,
shit.
Dom.
No, I can't afford to lose anybody else. Damn it, Dom.
Dom, first of all, thank you for your service. Second of all, neither of us are enemies of geeks and gamers.
I've had every single person on Geeks and Gamers on my show except Eric, and Dan was on my show like last week.
Yeah, I was on the Geeks and Gamers tabletop on Saturday, or if it wasn't this Saturday, it was the one before. And I have no indication. Az and I are talking about doing. Az Sargon and I are trying to schedule the next painting stream. Look, guys, I know this is hard to understand, but it's actually not fucking World War II. Like, there aren't real like battle lines and alliances and stuff. People understand, grown up fucking adults, way better than the weird subset of tribalistic fans understand that we can have disagreements and outright fights with other people, and you don't have to like disown someone or throw someone. And the purity test shit is gay. Like, everybody knows the purity test shit is gay, and we all kind of agree because any one of our friends might do something fucking dumb tomorrow. And you might have to say, well, that was dumb. Or you might have to say, you know what? I don't really want to talk about my friend or whatever. Like, we all know that. Like, we all run into the same fucking problem. And all we want on earth, let me give you the dark truth of the internet in these circles you're talking about. All of us just want to put on shows that you watch and hopefully send super chats or watch ads for.
Please,
that's
God.
all we want to do. We
Please,
don't
Jesus.
want. We do not want to get in these fucking dick slapping fights. Or worse, we don't want our friends to get in them because Jesus Christ, we don't care. I don't sell comic books. At some point, I should have a couple years ago, but I'm lazy. So I don't sell comics. I don't give a fuck about people selling comic books. It's the farthest thing from my mind in the average morning. People are like, are you following this? Like, no, I don't even buy comic books. I don't read them. I don't do anything with them. I talk to the Comicsgate guys when there were legal issues, and I sometimes do because they're my friends who I find funny, but that's it. We don't give a shit. Now, if you're in the business or if you're closely associated, you might. Nobody behind the scenes has come to me and said, you gotta suck Eric's ring. Nobody has said that.
Yeah.
Nobody at all. No one has tried to get me into a loyalty test behind the scenes, except the one person who I think made a little bit of a misstep. And I'm not even like, that's not a deal breaker for me. I get it. I understand the position he was in. I don't even feel fucking like, I'm not mad at him. I was, but it's over. It's done. It's finished. If you want to make this about like whatever, go ahead and make it about what you want, man. Here's the thing I'll tell you, Dom V. I have had the same exact position on people who are not me fighting ever since I started and long before I started YouTube. It's how I handle my personal relationships and everything else. I am not throwing anybody out for anyone else, and I am not throwing anybody out for you. someone has to throw me out. Like Camelot could do a bunch of retarded shit and I'd still be like, hey, what's up, man? You like want to hang out?
Yep.
And be like, yeah, cool. And it wouldn't bother me that like I might be mad for a minute or it might be like might hurt my feelings or whatever, but my feelings are gay and I don't like gay things. So I don't really care what they think. So it's like, oh wow, my feelings were hurt by that. And it's like, well, sorry, and then it's over. We don't fucking care.
Yep.
A lot of people handle shit that way. That's how I handle things. People throw me out of their lives all day and it's great. I encourage them to do so, but I'm not going to do it. And I'm not going to do it over internet bigotry. And I'm also, I'm not going to do it if somebody asks me to. And if you ask me to, I'll actually go the opposite. So I'll do it the opposite way harder. If you have a problem with that, good. You were never my fan in the first place.
Yep.
But I think you were talking to Cody and I'll speak on his behalf. You're stupid. Take that.
Yeah. Take that, you bitch. No, like, dude, there has never been a moment where I was like, I don't want Nick on my show because of this bullshit. I want him on my show even more. Like, I've never been that guy that like gets tribal, especially like friends. Like, I'm like, this person's my friend. And I will like, that's why I've never even condemned Dick, because I've hung out with Dick so many times in real life. And he's so nice to me and we have such a great time. So I'm like, well, I can't condemn Nick. You know what I'm saying? So like,
It's so silly.
People do that. I mean, you'll see all the time that I saw this Instagram reel yesterday and it was like, normalize swearing off your Republican side of your family for life. And I'm like, you would swear off your family who are blood because of political shit? How fucking gay is that? You are a gay piece of shit, because really the whole point of political outspokenness is from clout. It's always clout based. So you're swearing off your family for clout? How gay? How flaming retarded gay can you be? You're swearing off your family who may or may have not supported you your whole life over some internet clout. Man, God, could you imagine? That's like swearing off your family for some freaking Jordans. God, what a piece of shit. Sean Green says, who started all this shit? Nina Infinity.
Nina's fault.
That bitch.
God damn it, Nina.
That bitch with great tits. Real quick. Oh, by the way, let me make a statement for GNG or towards GNG. I love all those people. They're fantastic. And I don't think it's as black as white as people think. Slagless says Krista Nova wants on CamelCast. I've invited her on, and she said she couldn't do it. So that was months ago. But I would love to have Krista on. I think she's great. Eric Liniger. Oh my God, he's on fire. Did you say fight milk? If Nick is on, it's almost guaranteed. Love you guys. Sorry if you've on. Yeah, when you come on, it's pretty much always guaranteed. They like to see you suffer, man. You even got Riley throwing down hundreds and shit.
Yeah, and he gave all his money to Eric. Are we doing this? We doing a shot?
Oh man, I'm already tripping balls. I don't know if I can do many of these shots. Woof! Eric Liniger, killing me, boys. It's killing me. I've already almost killed half my Woodford, and it's a big ass bottle. It's as big as my head, dude.
I'm down just under down a quarter, so little over 3/4 left, and
it's rough, man. Oh man, I had a guy. So if the chat probably knows by now, but I have an Audi R8 that I just bought. I sold all my racing stuff. I started racing for a team, so I don't really need my racing equipment because I
all that shit over your fucking trailer, and then you sell it. Oh, you bitch.
Yeah. So I sold all that, and I bought an Audi R8 because I love R8s, man. I fucking love them. And this guy came up to me and he's like, "Man, is that like a 2023 R8?" And I'm like, "No, it's a 2009." And he's like, "It looks brand new." And I'm like, "Yeah, it has no miles on it." But they're timeless cars, man. But I've been driving this some bitch every single day, and I adore it. It is the greatest shit.
So great.
You can daily drive this some bitch.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. It's because like, I was looking online, and when it comes to daily driving, it's one of the supercars that you can daily drive. Because I wanted a 430 Scud, but they're a little too expensive now.
That's a Ferrari, right?
Yeah, the Ferrari 430, the F430 Scud. And,
wow, I didn't know you liked men as much as that.
Yes. The only reason I would want a Modena is because it has there's ones that have the manual like gated shifter in it, and but the 430 is a beautiful car. But my Audi R8 has a manual gated shifter. It's a Lamborghini transmission. It's beautiful. Steve says double fight milk. Here we come. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate you. All right. So very important burning question Johan has. So who's more cringe loser, Riley or Ralph? I say coin toss. I would say Ralph, and it's because Riley has not worked hard enough yet to get to that point. You got to have a gunt. You got to fucking leave your wife,
Check.
or she has to leave you. You have to have illegitimate children. You have to get punched in a bowling alley. Like, there's a lot of shit you got to do. Has Riley been punched in the face yet?
Yeah, literally by me. It's on camera. God damn it. I'm so fucking mad at you, Riley, for not putting that in the video. God, I hate you.
I didn't even know this. I met Riley, and I didn't even realize it, I think, at one point. He was in that. Was he in Nashville? Yeah, so I definitely met him. I just didn't know. Interesting. Yeah. I was just like, oh, it's just a fat, hairy guy. I don't know. He's not relevant, right? 430 is coming manual? What?
I don't
Is it like $100,000 more? I'm not spending, dude. I don't have that much money. I don't have that much money. I'm a thousandaire. Let's take a shot for Eric Liniger. Appreciate you, my friend. I love you. You're goated. Your penis is very large. Get the hell on it. Diggity dog on it. Cheers.
Cheers. Have you never seen the picture of Riley and Ralph's guns colliding?
Oh no. Bring
You
it
haven't
up.
seen this? This
Hold
is
up.
my favorite picture of, like, literally, this is my favorite picture of all time.
Let's see it.
Yeah, they actually got into a physical fist fight. Which is
Oh, of course they did. Of course they did.
so funny. Hold on. I gotta find this one. If guys, if you in my locals, if you guys have the Riley and Ralph Gunt picture, you know what I'm talking about. Please help me find that. I don't know if I can find that picture very quickly. It's so fucking perfect. So I type in Riley and Ralph's guns collide into Google, and the second result is child, 2 adults killed in crash following police chase.
Oh my God.
God, this is let's see. How do I maybe ASE Riley? This picture it's iconically fucking funny.
Mighty healthy. I agree. By the way, Richard says I like a sports car, but it has to be automatic. Manuals are for gays. Okay, yeah. So if you haven't figured it out by now, Richard is a master troll. He competes with Dick when it comes to trolling. Like no shit. Charlie says they do exist. Yeah, it's hard. I don't have that much money.
On one hand, I believe you. On one hand, I agree with you. Manual on a fucking sports car, supercar is awesome, and they should exist, and they should be the predominant thing. And I will say automatics are for gays, but at the same time, I will also say the dual clutch automatic on my 2022 Shelby, when you switch to paddle shifters, it shifts so fucking fast and so smooth. Yeah. It is absurd. Like it's you have to experience it to realize how fast that transition is. And it is cool to be like that is awesome. Don't get me wrong. But when you just punch it and it just goes and goes and goes, and you're like, you don't even feel like the huge lurch. It's just like a little, it's like a hiccup, and then you're just whoom, and it's like, God, it's fast. That's amazing.
So yeah.
Here's the picture. This is Riley and Ralph's when guns collide, forbidden love.
Oh my God. They're kissing. Jesus.
I love this picture so much. God.
I love how Riley trolled himself into like popularity. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's a masterful move.
Dude, this fight was great. Look, Ralph and I have buried the hatchet. I don't like shit on Ethan Ralph or anything anymore. We had a lot of drama between us, which I really hated. But that being said, the main thing I say about Ralph is I want a resolution to all of his issues. I want it to be positive. I want everybody to be safe is the most important thing. And you know me, guys, like I want people to succeed.
I feel myself feeling bad for him a lot. I'm like,
dude,
Poor bastard.
When people get into shit situations, like they're even when they make bad decisions or whatever, you get shit situations, and they just happen, and it's like you still like you're like, God, will you stop fucking up? But also at the same time, you're like, but I get why you're fucking up. Like when people are stressed and shit's going wrong, like you fuck up. And so I don't want people to fail and die. Like that's a weird thing that some people on the internet, most people are like, no, I want them to live forever because they're retarded and they'll keep doing funny stuff that I can make fun of. But some people are like, I hate them. I hope they fucking die.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, calm down. It's not that serious. Jesus.
Yeah, I don't. I claim it's because I don't care as much or I don't care enough. But when I see people say the word like hate in front of maybe creators or like content, I'm like, man, that's like a strong word for me. I don't ever really get to the point where I hate something. If I dislike something or it hasn't jived with me, I just don't engage with it anymore. It's very easy.
Yeah.
For me. But a lot of people are like, dude, they are just, there's people that's been in my chat for 2 years and they fucking say they hate me and they're there every stream. And I'm like, it feels kind of like you love me.
Well, look, I have to say something.
Yeah. Yeah. Matt himself on Rumble with a $20 Rumble rant says, did you see how Jazza, the art guy, had to come out and address his brother Shadversity for the drama that arose from the sword community and his worldviews? Jazza has never been political. Is that the guy that had the very long response that was...
No, that was Metatron, the Italian.
It was kind of based until like the middle, then it got kind of gay.
Then it was like so funny because it was like such an ongoing LARP of like, I'm a sword YouTuber. No, I didn't see the Jazza one. Jazza response Shadiversity. Let's see if we can find this shit.
To bury the hatchet real quick, I've test driven a 430 that I was looking at with the dual clutch transmission, and it was godlike. Do I prefer a manual? 100%. I grew up in a trailer park. I've only driven manual since I was 16, and I don't plan on changing ever. My R8's a manual. It's a gated manual. But if I got a 430 Scud and it was a dual clutch, I would be very happy with that. So yes, there's my opinion on that. On that matter.
I don't know where the fuck this response is. I'm looking for it. Like the only thing I see is him commenting on Shad and the fucking whatchamacallit, the AI art stuff. So I don't know. Maybe it's something else.
That was pretty messed up. So I the whole Shad drama where like some random guy that, now I shouldn't say he's random. To Shad, it wasn't random. It was a guy he'd worked with and done videos with for like a long time. And this guy came out of nowhere and like denounced Shadversity because of his like political views. And it was like the cringiest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Like, listen, he supports bigotry, and like, fuck off, like, stop that shit. That was that Scala Gladiatoria or whatever his stupid fucking channel is.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, first of all, you're a sword tuber. Like, look, let's be honest, you're barely above us, and you're still gay. Second of all, you hold phallic symbols in your hands and mouth. Third of all, why are you like? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. So, well, I wouldn't want to be negative associated with his bigotry. You aren't. Normal people don't actually associate you with someone else's views unless you agree with them and express them. Otherwise, nobody cares. It's a community post on his channel, Jazza. Oh, God. I don't know. Do you want me to go find it?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
So, yeah. Somebody said, Cody, I hate you. Thank you. Somebody said, people join your stream for your guest, not you. Your shtick is beyond old. I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we bring guests on, guys.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like,
that's not a surprise to any of us. We're like, look, I really am tired. I don't want to pick a bunch of topics tonight. Can you just come on? We'll shoot the shit. That's
usually how it works. Yeah. I'll be like, I'll literally text Nick like on the phone. I'm like, bro, I don't want to put work in. Please come on my show. I'm dying, bro. No, like, I mean, when it's just me, only 600 or 700 people watch. So yeah, I agree with that. You're correct. Thank God for a guest.
So it's Jazzy or is it Jazzy? Because I'm looking at Jazza.
Yeah.
Like Jazzy is half black, half white chick. That's weird.
Thank you,
Jazza.
baby.
Okay, 6 million subscribers. Jesus
Holy
Christ!
shit. Well, that's good.
I wish I was cool.
Yeah, dude, I would love to have that gold plaque.
You know what I would do with 6 million subscribers?
I would sell my channel.
I would do the exact same show I do now, and I wouldn't. That's why I'll never have 6 million subscribers.
Yeah.
Jazza. Okay, so here we go. Here's the fucking thing. He's got this thing. Here we go. So I rarely make statements on politics, but if some have been wondering where I stand as compared to the controversial and public views held by my brother Shad, at this point I need to make my position clear. Do you want to bring this up?
Yeah.
Got it shared. I do not bring politics into my videos, but those who know me know I am proud ally of marginalized groups and a sensitive and open-minded person. Gay. The only public potential statement I have ever made was to vocally support same-sex marriage in Australia. I did that on my vlog channel. I don't wish to make any further specific political statements, but I will say that it has always been my aim to have our Jazza community be a safe one for anyone to participate in without fear, offense, discomfort, or prejudice. Let me just briefly say something. I'm the opposite on that one. Like, I'm actually, I don't give a shit about your thing or whatever. Like, you want to touch a PP, you want to cut a PP off, whatever. As long as it's not a kid, like, you're 18, I don't care what you do as long as it's not to a kid. But at the same time, I don't want anybody feeling safe. No, without fear, offense, discomfort, or prejudice. No, I want everybody to feel at some point fear, discomfort, offense, prejudice. That challenges us to grow and learn. It's really
100%.
fucking gay
100%.
to sit there and be like, well, I don't want you to ever be offended. It's like, no, I don't want you to stop watching because your titties got hurt. I want you to come back, but I want your titties to get hurt so you realize that squeezing them was valuable the whole time. So I write this now as controversy has been growing regarding my views, the views of my brother Shadiversity. While I love my brother, our views differ on many topics. And as he has become more politically outspoken, many people have commented asking if I share similar views. I do not.
Yeah. So,
which is why he has 6 million subscribers on YouTube.
You have to ride the fence. So, like, the issue is
in your butthole.
Yeah. The reason, like, social, like, not even fiscal, not even environmental, the reason social politics have become such a talking point in the West is because the West is such a safe area. Like, do you think people in, like, the Middle East are talking about social politics? No.
Yeah, no. When they do, they get thrown off the fucking roof.
Yeah.
Like, not to be too crude about it, but when you're like, I believe in gay rights in Iran, they're like, we need water, and you go off the fucking roof and you die. Yep. And you can say, well, it's because they're backwards and sand eating people, which is true. I mean, Nina's from there, so we know that's true. Yes. But that's a real thing. But it's like, it's not just Iran. It's everywhere. Like in fucking Nambia. Do you think they care? Uganda or whatever? Like the death penalty for gays. They're like, we don't have time for this shit. You know why? Because we don't get to eat. We don't get to eat. If we could harness the power of the flies on our children's eyeballs, we could eat those, but they can't catch them because they're too tired because they haven't eaten. My God, they don't care about where you put your penis in a butthole. But like, if you tell them about it, they'll be like, instead of focusing on this, you could have focused on growing a grapevine. Like you could have done that instead. You could have grown corn instead of sucking a man's penis. So we will throw you from the rooftops. That's how the third world works.
We're far too comfortable. Like every single person you see that has like their pink swooped pixie cut hair and their entire personality is like LGBTQ. I'm 17 years old. This is my forefront of my entire personality. A, it's because you lack personality, which most people do. If you find somebody with personality, there's a reason why you gravitate towards them because it's very rare. And also, B, they come from the upper middle class where they never have to worry about struggling. Like when I was growing up, I lived in a trailer until I was 20 years old. I didn't have time to worry about like if the poor was, because back then it was, racism wasn't even a point of contention when I was growing up. It was more because, 9/11 happened and black and white people were like hand in hand. No one cared about that shit. The main point of contention was
white people are like kumbaya and the black people are like kumbaya, motherfucker.
Exactly.
Coming straight up the east side.
Yeah, dude.
Bringing those Persians down to the fucking ground like our towers went, like whatever it is. Like.
So like the only point of contention was like rich and poor. And now it's like completely changed to where it's like, and I didn't detest rich people at all. All I did was strive to become that. Like, that's all I did when I was growing up. I was like, I want to become, successful.
You're like, oh, they have time to be fat. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
So people are making fun of me because in this weird drama, I kind of took umbrage with Eric's approach. I thought he took a little racial slight towards me because in our debate, he kept saying Dick was my partner, right? Which he meant friend. But
Texas.
I legitimately didn't know because a lot of people have suggested that I have a financial relationship with Dick. To be clear, I want to do a podcast with Dick that would then create a business relationship. I think that'd be funny. But we don't have one. I don't give him money. He doesn't give me money or anything. So we don't have that. And since so many people have asked me, I was like, wait, I need to clarify this. When you say partner, do you mean like partner, like a business partner, or do you just mean friend? He clarified friend. Well, then like that was this weird point of like attack. And so I brought up the fact that I grew up in a really shitty area of Houston. Now, my subdivision was supposed to be like a bastion of wealth relative to the fucking projects that were around. But the developer ran out of money during the adjustable rate mortgage crisis. My parents were way underwater on their house because, it's like, oh, you borrow at 6% because it's 1982 or 83 or whenever it was. And then 2 years later, your house at 13, 14%. And you can't get out from under that because your wage does not rise consummate to the increase in interest payments that you're making on your house, especially in the early years. So I lived in this place that ended up being a really shitty area, and it's surrounded by the literal, like some of the worst crime neighborhoods in Houston, one of them being Acres Homes, which is nicer now. You wouldn't want to walk around there as a Who-white. But in the 80s, you're talking about every day you turn on the TV and there are 3 or 4 murders in Acres Homes. And when you're at school, you can hear the gunshots. It wasn't a great place. The reason I bring that up is not to be like, I was the most depressed person in the world. It was, no, I grew up as a minority in this area. There were 2 white kids in our class. There were 2 Indian kids in our class. The rest were black and Mexican. That's just how it was. So like, it's like, he doesn't understand the dialect. It's like, no, I literally fucking grew up trying not to get the dialect wrong. So I didn't get beat up because I was a little kid. And the racism was the racism wasn't racism. It wasn't because you were white that they didn't like you. It's just because they didn't trust anybody outside of their friend groups who they lived with in the same apartment building.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you have to navigate that as a kid who has no idea what to fucking do. That's like, I was friends with all the fucking black dudes because that's the only people you can be friends with. Because you're not gonna be friends with the dot Indians. They're just doing math. And you're like, no, I want to play kickball and stuff. So I want to be friends with Calvin. Calvin had a fucking crescent shaved into his head, right? Like he's so black. Darian. I remember when George, who was super black, beat the fuck out of Darian, who was half black. And then the gym teacher made fun of Darian for getting his ass kicked. And I laughed at him. And I was like, ha ha ha. And then Darian looked at me and I was like, oh, wait, I'm skinny. Like I shouldn't laugh at all. And I remember this kid, Joey, the only other white kid in the class, he tried to intervene between George and Darian. He got his fucking ass beat. And this is first grade. Or no, sorry. This is third grade. These kids weren't even big yet. They're beating the fuck out of each other. And I'm just sitting there like, I just want to go home and play RoboCop on my Nintendo. That's all I want to do. Like, I just want to go die to RoboCop and Total Recall over and over and over again. I don't want to get hit. I don't want to get hit. Dude. I don't want to get hit.
People like Lawnmower Man was the one I died on. No, like,
I love that fucking movie, by the way. It's on Prime. Oh, God. I'm gonna watch it.
Dude, there's like, people don't understand how the 80s and 90s in rural America
and
was.
Fuck Calvin, by the no, hold on. You know what, Camel, you shut your mouth for fuck you, Calvin. You ratted me out, you bitch. My job was to type buck on the keyboard in computer class, and I typed fuck, and I laughed at it, and I showed you, and I was like, hey, Calvin, check this out. I typed fuck out because I was in 3rd grade. And he's like, teacher. I'm like, what
no way.
I'm like, what the buck, dude? And he turned me in. I had to call my dad at work in the 80s. And hello? Yeah, Mr. REKIETA. Yeah. This is so-and-so from Stovall Elementary, your son's school. I'm aware of Stovall Elementary. Your son has to tell you something. Put him on the phone. Dad, I got into trouble in typing class. Why? Why are you talking to me at work? I typed a word. What word did you type? I don't want to say it. Say it. Fuck. He's like,
oh my God.
He goes, I'll deal with this when I get home. When he gets home, he grounds me from Rated R Movies. That was the severe punishment I got from Rated R Movies. 2 days later, he and my mom were going to go somewhere for the night. And they got my babysitter. He's like, yeah, what do you like? We got your babysitter to come over, and she's going to watch you. And what do you want to do? He's like, you want to rent a movie? You want to like I Come in Peace or something? I'm like, Dad, this is a Rated R movie. I'm grounded from Rated R Movies. He's like, it would be a good idea if you don't remind me that you're grounded from Rated R Movies. What would you like to do? Rent I Come in Peace, Dad. I want to watch Dolph Lundgren shoot aliens and kill them. Fuck you, Calvin. Fuck you. You and your stupid crescent haircut, you Muslim.
No, man. I remember I was in computer class and we were playing Flight Simulator 95, maybe, or 98. Yeah. And we discovered that there was a local chat. The computer lab, obviously the computer lab was connected to a LAN server. So we discovered there was a local chat, and me and my friend Joe were like flying planes around, before 9/11, when you could hit buildings and like your plane would explode. Yep. We were like texting back, like just fuck and fuck me over and over, like fuck me, because we had just watched Scary Movie 2.
Hell
like,
yeah.
Priest, like who is my God, who is it? It's who plays this priest in Scary Movie 2? It's
Charlie Sheen. No, I don't know.
James Woods.
Wait, Scary Movie 2? Oh,
yeah, James
God,
Woods.
I fucking love it. This is my strong hand.
Yeah, so James Woods is like the priest in the beginning. He's like, fuck me, and then he starts fucking the like girl that had like needs an exorcism. And me and my friend Joe had just watched that, so we were like saying that over and over in the local chat. And this girl named Carrie saw the local chat because she opened fucking Flight Simulator.
You got fucked, didn't you?
Dude, she like immediately raised her hand and was like, they're saying this, by the way, keep in mind, this was 9th grade or 8th grade, and this girl had been taking dick for like years at this point. We're like 13, and she like tells on us for saying fuck, and I had never even sniffed like within 10 feet of a vagina at this point. And
dude, I
got suspended for a week for saying fuck me in the local chat for Flight Simulator.
Tori Spelling in Scary Movie 2. That was her greatest performance
of
all time.
Yep.
When that ghost comes and she's like,
fucks her.
Fucking give it to me, Big Daddy. And then she's like trying to call. She's like, what's your phone number? How do I get a hold of you? He's like, fuck. He's dodging her the rest of the movie. That was the funniest shit that Tori Spelling has ever done, including having a deformed face. That was the funniest shit she's ever done. God, that was amazing. Scary Movie 2 is one of the funniest movies.
Dude, I need to watch
in that whole line.
It's been a long time.
When the Wayans get stabbed by the glory hole, the penis comes through and stabs him through the head. God damn it. And then the ball door knocker. Like, I was watching that at my grandparents' house at 2 a.m. And I'm dying laughing. And my dad comes downstairs. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm watching this Scary Movie 2 that you guys bought me on DVD. And Mima and Judge, my grandparents, I'm like, Mima and Judge are asleep. So I'm just watching it down here. And he looks up and it's right at the fucking ball knocker scene. Goes, and he goes, and my dad just goes, and he bursts out laughing. I'm like, see, he's like, I came down to tell you to be quiet. I'm like, I can't, Dad, I can't, because they're smashing his balls into the door and he's screaming. This is the funniest scene that they could have done. Well, how do you make a door knocker funny? This is how.
God, what a great movie. That. I used to watch this shit like every day when I was a kid. Nat says, I couldn't give 2 fucks about comics, but always up for some gay drama. Yeah, this drama is so much gayer than the beauty community drama. And that's one has way more serious consequences legally. Love you. Thank you, Nat. Appreciate you. Urashima Atoro says, EVS said Riley didn't smell. What is the truth? Grifty says, play the Riley EVS video. Dude, I don't want to see any more Riley today. Okay.
Yeah.
Leave me alone with the Riley shit. Can't take much more of the Raleigh. Real quick, make sure you guys do me a favor and like this show. We're almost to the goal. Spam that like button like your life depends on it, like you're living in the Middle East, okay, and you're running, make sure you spam it so you'll survive the wrath of Allah. 200 Watt Studio says, was in 5th grade and taking a test I didn't study for. I got frustrated and started doodling on the paper. I then wrote "fuck you" on the first page. Teacher thought I was threatening her. Detention. Rest in peace.
5th grader. He's like, I'm threatening to fuck. My name is Buck and I'm here to fuck. It's 5th grade.
I remember being in 8th grade, I think. And this was like the grade where I like started getting hard-ons all the time.
Oh,
and there was like
that was rough. It's a rough
Yeah.
grade.
And I remember there was like these 2 girls that one day, it was like during ag like class or something, agriculture. And these 2 girls had like those sweats on, those early 2000s sweats, and they're like fat asses and like tight legs. And we're like in 8th grade, right? So, and they walk up and give a presentation with their fat, perfect asses. And I was like, just like rock hard the whole time. And like, it was awful.
Dude, we didn't really have like yoga pants hadn't hit when I was in 9th and 10th grade and stuff. And thank Christ for it. But
yeah,
like they did have the leggings, and like the girls would wear the skirts and leggings, or they just wear skirts, no panties or whatever. And you're sitting there and they would like do something for someone else, and you'd catch a side eye and you're like, oh, well, I'm going to jump off a bridge tomorrow. Like, cause what the fuck else do you do? But one of my favorites was my best friend at the time in 9th grade. He comes back to me, or no, this is 10th grade. He comes and tells me, he's like, hey, I just saw so-and-so. I'm not gonna say her name. She's super nice and lovely or whatever, but she had massive breasts and she's, very well shaped for her age or whatever. Yeah. And she was sitting across from him in English class, and she had this tiny skirt on, allegedly. And
yeah.
she was sitting right across from him, just smiling at him, and her legs were not crossed. They were like wide open. And he's like, for the whole English class, right? He's like dying, just don't look. And I'm like, nah, what are you talking about? And then the next day I'm talking to her, because she's our friend, I'm talking to her, and I'm like, we're walking, and she starts walking really fast. I'm like, what are we doing? She's like, oh, I got to return this skirt to someone. And she pulls it out, and it's a piece of fabric. It's just this. It's like a head scarf, like a headband.
Oh my God.
It's just fabric like this. She's like, I got to return this. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like an armband? She's like, no, it's a skirt. I'm like, that's not a skirt. That's an invitation for rape.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I got to put it in her locker. I'm like, what if she's not there? It's like, it's gonna fit in the vents of the locker. I'll just shove it in there. It's like, you know what? That's a good point. And then I called him up. I was like, I saw the skirt. It wasn't on her, but I saw the skirt. It's fine. Like, I understand. How did you survive that? He's like, I don't know.
Man,
no.
The pull is so strong when you're like in 8th and 9th grade, and these girls start wearing like the most ridiculous shit.
And you have
it was back in a weird time where there was this transition period from like olden days. People like don't understand this, and I know you will, Nick.
Yeah.
But the reason the generation that we belong to is so strange is because when we were born and like kids, we were more closely identified technologically with the 20s than we were currently. So everything changed so drastically. So it went from like this completely Christian area when I was 10 years old to me being 14. And now like it's like the Britney Spears era, and all these like girls in 8th and 9th grade are wearing yoga pants and like tiny skirts, and their ass cheeks are hanging out.
Britney Spears is 12 days older than me. Like, so you have to understand, when Britney Spears was 15, I was 15. That's when she signed her record deal. She recorded Hit Me Baby One More Time at 15. When she's 16 and recording the video for Toxic, and I worked at Circuit City, and I'm watching this video literally 1,000 times a day. Like, this is what you're stuck in. You're a pile of testosterone, completely uncontrolled. You have nothing. You have no like dulling, numbing experiences, and you haven't been beaten down by the world. So you're literally constantly going, why am I not having sex with that thing right now?
Yeah.
Your entire day. And then when you're in school and these girls are walking around in like short skirts or yoga pants or whatever, which should be outlawed. I agreed with jihad and burqas or whatever. like you have to stand up. Like teachers are like, why don't you stand up and tell the class about your answer? And I'm like, bitch, I cannot stand up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
yeah.
a fucking Canon tripod
Oh
right
my
now. I cannot
dude.
do this. Don't do this to me.
Oh my
I
God.
will have to kill myself later. No, 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 no. And they're like, stand up. And you're like trying to do, like, you're like doing this.
I
and you're like,
remember.
yeah, I'll stand up in a minute. Just
I
second.
remember.
Just second. I gotta adjust it.
Dude.
Am I wearing a belt today? I can tuck my dick under my belt. No, you're not. Oh, cool. Well, might as well just kill myself right now in front of everybody. Fuck
I had
you.
I had gym shorts on one time, and these like the girls had just came off like from giving their presentation, and I was like rocking a diamond, and you know how gym shorts on, there's like no resistance, and they were like, come do your thing, and I just sat there. There's no way in hell. People don't realize like before like if you scroll back 20 years, girls were not allowed to wear that. None of this was happening. You know, I think the 90s were like the worst period for all this.
Yeah.
Because girls
worse, but worse. Yeah.
Girls were running in gym class and their fat asses were like bouncing in front of me with their tiny shorts on, and I could almost see a labia. And like I was like, my heart was like palpitating.
And to be clear to all the women out here who are listening now with your cool modern sensibilities, and the women in the chat who are like thinking back, they're like, well, those shorts weren't that bad. Look,
he adjusted now. Yeah.
Listen, hoes, we didn't want this. Like, we in some ways loved it, like because we were biologically predispositioned to love it and worship it and want every single second of it forever. But we didn't want this. We knew that every single instance that this happened, and anytime our bodies reacted in a way we couldn't deal with, that we were prone to, and you know, we were vulnerable to the most horrific ridicule that you could imagine. Because the weirdest thing on earth when you're a teenage boy is the fact that you cannot control having a fucking raging boner. But if you happen to have one, everybody else will make fun of you while they have one. They will have the exact same erection for the exact same reason. They'll be like, fucking virgin nerd. They will ridicule you relentlessly. It's not about whether or not you had the erection. It's about whether you fucking failed the Russian roulette of getting called on by the teacher at that moment, or having to go up and do your speech. And there's nothing you can do about it. And we're like, all we want right now is gender segregated schools and non-gender segregated recess. Like, that's it. But hello, put you bitches behind a goddamn wall of Jericho. We don't want you around if we have to deliver a speech or think or do anything. And you're there anyway. And you're like, what's wrong with wearing a bikini to school? It's like, bitch.
People don't understand.
Pull up.
People don't understand, like, especially women, that the amount of testosterone that's entering your body is like similar to like being in your late 20s and taking a ton of testosterone injections via needle. It's like the same amount. Like, and like I've been in those situations where like I was like, it was one of those days, and I ran to the bathroom and just made stomach pancakes and shot the wall like a bull.
I gotta confess,
came on the wall, bro. Like, because it was so bad that day.
I am so proud of myself. I never once ejaculated in school.
Oh, bro, I did it all the time.
I can tell. I never did. Like, I could have guessed that, but I never did. And it's like, it sounds weird to people. Like, if you're not a guy, if you didn't grow up dealing with this shit and this change of hormones, because you have to understand, like, the normal male hormone levels for testosterone are like between 300 and 800. And you go from having somewhere around 0 to 150 testosterone measurements right before puberty to within like a month and a half having a range of like 950 plus.
Yep.
Your body way overcorrects. It does not have the ability to metabolize or convert testosterone into other hormones in other instances. So you just get this influx, and it's like, you just take your husband or whatever and don't tell him, and give him like several testosterone injections and watch him never lose his erection for days and days and days. No matter what he does, just goes forever. He can't stop and he can't think about anything else. That's every fucking like 10th grade boy, 9th grade boy in existence, and they don't want it. And now our society acts like these boys are these monsters. They're so hypersexualized. It's like, no, they're not hypersexualized. There's literally just a hormone flooding their body to make them want to have sex with the idea of a woman in a bed sheet. It doesn't matter. Like, it's not what the women wear that is particularly damaging, because honestly, they could wear a muumuu or whatever, and we'd still think the same if like it raised up and that showed their ankles. We'd be like, but it's like your body is like, no, your breeding initiative starts there, and it says you need to start now. Spread the seed. You don't have any time left, because you're going to get stabbed by one of those Germanic invaders and you're going to die, because that's how human evolution worked. We used to die so much fucking earlier that by the time you're 13, 14 years old, they're like, why haven't you fathered 9 children yet? Like, there's 9 women right around you now. Get out there and spread the spunk.
People don't understand. So, like, if people don't understand by now, I've talked about it 100 times. I take testosterone once a week for different purposes, and it's something that's well known. I think I talked about it first on my stream with Donut Operator. Me and him talked about it a bunch, and the mood it puts me in, especially on the second day after an injection, I have, see, B Kenny even knows Donut. B Kenny's a long-term fan. Thank you. So, I have to, I'll know. I'll have like the first or second day, I'll call like my usual girl, and I'm like, I have to dump a load. Like, you have to, like, I will die. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Children, like, I say children, but young teens, like boys 14 years old that are going through puberty have a higher testosterone rate
all the time,
and their emotional maturity is like 0, right?
And they have no backstory of sexual encounters. They have no, like, as you get older, as you have I can't speak to multiple sexual partners, but as the amount of like sexual experiences you have increases, obviously your susceptibility to various things lowers. Like, visual things are great. They're just not like when you're 13 and a chick walks by in a tight shirt with her nipples pointing out or whatever in a short skirt, you have an erection that you cannot control.
Yeah.
When you're 40 and a chick walks by in the same thing, you're like, she's hot. Like, that's cool. I love that outfit. But it's going to take a lot more than that to actually have you physically aroused, because your bone is like, well, I've been inside one of those, and it's great, but like, this is a different stimuli that doesn't do the same thing. You don't have that when you're a kid. You have none of that experience to pull on. You don't have that that dulling or numbing of sensation. You don't have the control over it. You haven't ever had to try to not come, like, because like, I've only been having sex for 8 seconds. Like, I really don't want this to end right now. I want this to go on. And you haven't had to like figure out how to control and regulate that shit. And it's weird to like joke and make fun of it, but it's an honest thing. It's not only a skill that you acquire, but it is a dulling of senses over years and years and years and multitudes of experiences. And it's like, these kids don't have it. And these women or young girls, I guess, that are appropriately aged for them, not for any of us, obviously, but they're appropriately aged for them. They are in a stage where evolution says that the 13-year-old boy looks at the 13-year-old girl and says, you can make a baby, you should breed. And our entire society is telling them no. All of their religious upbringing, their moral upbringing, their regional upbringing says, don't do that thing. You don't need a baby yet. And they have to fight all of biology. They have to fight 1 million fucking years of history. And you expect some retarded 13-year-old who still likes Pokemon and Digimon cards to do that. And it's a wonder none of them, not as many of them, end up with bullets in their mouths as they do. Because I got to tell you, it's fucking soul crushing to deal with that every day.
Luckily, Nick, I was obese, so there was no chance of me fucking anyone. So
I was a complete fucking nerd and a turbo Catholic. I was like Nick Fuentes. I'm like, girls are fucking gay. Like, there was
I
no
can
way
see
I was
that.
going to do it.
I
I mean,
can
I'd
see
look
that.
at them and be like, God damn. But you have to like pretend that you're not into them or whatever. Well, high school dating is just so lame. You say these little copes or whatever because you're not dating a girl. And you're like, that's why I play Magic the Gathering or Armored Core all day. It's definitely not because I have opportunities to have women and I'm turning them down like a Chad. It's because it is the right behavior to do. But
Yep.
those are the lies you have to tell yourself to override fucking biology.
Yep. It's brutal, man. 200-watt Studio says, was in 5th grade taking a test I did not study for. I got frustrated and started doodling on the paper. Then wrote, fuck you on the first page. Teacher thought I was threatening her. Detention. That's how that works. Thank you.
You read
200.
that already, Flash?
Oh, no, really? Oh,
Yep.
God, I'm Flash. Fuck. Ian Benoit says, more Riley. No, thank you. Thank you. Michael Winning says, more Riley. What the fuck? No, thank you. 200-watt says, was a kid and went to the mall at Christmas with aunts and uncles, cousins, bought a t-shirt that said 7th grader, do it better. Grandma saw it and said I had a loose thread, took it and never saw it again. 7th grader, do it better. What does that mean?
First of all, that shirt's funny as fuck. Second of all, this is a point I've been wanting to kind of like articulate on a while, and I'm on your stream, so I'll do it. The way particularly the right has gone lately has been this ultra puritanical hyper focus on quote maps and stuff like that, which to much extent I agree with. But it is like pretending that nobody in 1997 looked at Britney Spears. No man over 18 in 1997 looked at Britney Spears and said, I would fucking bury that thing in Jerusalem. Like, of course they did.
Yeah.
And like, now I can say that because I'm literally her age. So there's nothing untoward about that. And guys who are 18 saying that, in 1997 was not a weird thing. Guys who are 51 in 1997 saying that is a little bit weird. Like, that's fucking strange. That's a little creepy. But there's this gray area that existed where guys in 1997 would look at Britney Spears and say, that girl is fucking sexy. And it would be socially acceptable from like 15 up to 30, 35 years old. And now if you do that, they'd be like, get on the wall, you're going to fucking die. And you're like, well, what? Like, we've gone so far away from what was not necessarily legal, but kind of this like social acceptability, this gray area, maybe I'll call it, of an understanding that guys might have been attracted to people in this weird space where they don't necessarily know their age. Because like these guys, it's not like these guys are looking up Britney Spears' age. They're just seeing a video of this young girl who they've never seen before, and they go like, holy goddamn, like she's damn. And then when she's holding the basketball or whatever in those red pants, they're like, damn. And they have this thought for just a second, and they're like, okay, and they never think anything of it. Now it's like, if you have that thought for a second, you better have Googled her age and considered the implications of your actions and realized that you're a pedophile. It's like, holy shit. This is this weird like quality purity testing that is imposed upon this thing that's a biological response. And I am not saying in any way that it would be okay for any of these men to have sex with Britney Spears. None of them were, is the critical thing there, because they're all just literally watching MTV.
Yeah, I was like wondering, like, where's this going? I'm scared. Like, hold on.
But like nowadays, if the exact same scenario happened, and it's a scenario that happened literally a million times a day, whenever when Hit Me Baby One More Time came on from YouTube, a million households had some guy who is way too old to have sex with that Britney Spears look at her and go, fuck, when she says baby, baby, like that's very hot. They did that. They did that thing. And everybody understood that they had this biological pull towards her. You do that today, the guy who says, yeah, Britney Spears is hot in that video, they get fucking excoriated. They're treated as if they're the worst offending pedophile on the planet. We've moved the goalposts on that in a strange way. It's this game of one-upsmanship that I hate, because it doesn't recognize like things like biology and reality and all this stuff. And it imposes these these rules. It's like, well, that guy was never going to fuck Britney Spears in his life.
Yeah.
Like he won't even be in the same room as her forever. And it's like, well, but you're an evil pedophile who should die immediately. And it's like, how do we like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not actually opposed to that outcome. That's the weird thing in all this. Like, I'm not actually opposed to requiring men to consider the age of their quote unquote target. But like, how do we get, because it was like a couple years where we went from the one thing to the other. And it's like walking across to the other end of the seesaw. And it's fucking strange that we got there that fast.
Yeah.
But again, I don't have a problem with where we are now and saying, guys, like, you have Google, just fucking like make sure that the thing you're attracted to is actually appropriate for you to be attracted to. But I don't know how we went from one to the other. And then we pretended that the first one never existed. That's the other thing.
Yeah. Well, it's like the whole thing that like 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds getting married to like 30-year-old farmers was the norm 60s and prior. Right. In every culture and across.
Yeah. And I'm like, that's fucking repulsive.
Yep.
And when you think back on the Bible, like, scholars typically talk about Mary being like 13 years old.
Yep.
And Joseph being in his 30s.
Yep.
And I'm like, holy fuck, that's disgusting.
Yep.
If I think of a 13-year-old, I like my son is one of my sons is 12 and is on the soccer team. And so he's on the soccer team with 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds, and it's a co-ed team. And I look at them and I'm like, how could anyone want to marry a 13-year-old? Like, that's an insane, that there is no level of 13-year-old where you're like, oh yeah. Like, to me, I'm like, I look at them and I'm like, that's a literal child. There's no distinction. Agree. It's not like they're 17 and they kind of look grown up. They look like a 13-year-old child.
Yep.
But apparently Joseph and Mary did. And not only that, it was like the social norm across the known world at the time.
It's crazy, man.
It's
speaking
way
of crazy,
different.
Why is Vito in my chat? Why
Vito.
is that round child fuck?
Vito would marry Mary today. That's all I know.
Oh,
actually,
God.
Vito would marry Joseph when he was.
You know what's
13
weird?
Today.
You know what's weird? The fact that we're talking about the subject matter and Vito shows up. Just weird. It's like
how fucking coincidental. No, and I know people are going to take this the wrong way intentionally because it's funny to do so, but listen, like, this is one of the weirdest things, because when I go out with my wife and we go out and like have some drinks or whatever, I'm an extrovert. I talk to a bunch of people, and all I want to do is hear different stories, and so I talk to fucking everybody around. Some of those people, some of the places we go usually are 21 plus, but sometimes you go to a place that's 18 plus.
Yeah.
The moment I find out someone is under 21, I'm not even trying to have sex with anybody except Lady Rackets, because I like her. She's kind of cute. Yeah. But I'm not trying to have sex with anybody else. I'm just literally talking. The moment I find out someone's 21, I'm like, or under 21, I'm like, peace. And then I'm fucking gone. And it's like, there's not even a sexual issue there. I just don't even want to talk to people that young. One, because I'm biased and bigoted against them. And two, because I don't want any weird, like, negative connotations. And these people would all be technically legal, but technically legal is not a thing I'm interested in at all. Because one, I'm not particularly attracted to 18 to 23 or 24-year-olds. There's a look of women when they start to mature. The hips and stuff like that develop a little bit differently. And I like that. I've grown to like that as I've grown older. So when I see a chick who's like rail thin, and I like rail thin women, but when she's rail thin but has no shape to her, I'm like, she looks a little young. And then she turns around, you're like, oh my God, that girl looks like 15. That's fucking insane. That's weird. And whatever, but like your body's attraction changes over time to kind of more appropriate things, I feel. But even that, again, not trying to have sex with any of these people, but I don't even want the implication or the accusation available. If I find out someone's under 21, I'm like, deuces, cool. Go talk to your guidance counselor, you dumb bitch.
I've been there.
I'm going to go over here.
And this was like 5 years ago when I was younger, and I'm still like, ugh. Real quick, we are, I think, 300 or 298 until double fight milk. We are.
Oh, God damn it! No, we're over fight milk.
Yeah, we killed Fight Milk. We're almost to double. We're 100 likes from goal. I'm gonna play the musical stylings of Alex Jones, and I'm gonna go get my Fight Milk supplies.
Me too. I'm gonna take a piss and I'm gonna go get my Fight Milk
Same.
supplies. Let me just say this one thing. Hey Vito, how much are we to double Fight Milk?
$290.
Vito, we are $290 to double Fight Milk. I know your food budget exceeds all of your income, but you owe me at least $290 for everything I've done for you. If you give it to Camelot, I'll fucking fist you to death. You better not do that. If you owe me $290 to me, you piece of shit, you fucking hoagie munching Philly cheesesteak huffing fatso. Don't you goddamn dare give it to Cody. That $290 is mine. That piece of shit. I hope you get thrown off a fucking rooftop in Iran, you gay.
That's a good cue for some Alex Jones. 2 seconds, boys. We'll be back. Like the stream. Get on it, dog on it.
System, the company store, the paradigm of absolute control. And that's why we're just out here doing simple things, pointing out that we're meant to be in nature and be natural. And this is where we find the source
Camelot,
that
a
God
free
made
super
to
killer
transcend the New
plushie.
World Order.
That's negative
That's why
value.
they
You
wanna try
now
to
owe me
keep us out of it.
$350, you fat.
Angry. I've had enough of these people. They're a bunch of Christian murderers, scum, and one giant death factories keeping babies alive and selling their body parts. What more do you need to know about these people? I go out and face these scum. They literally crawl out from under rocks. They have green looking skin and they run around screaming, we love Satan, we wanna eat babies. I have them on video. Hillary's in the creepy weird sick stuff, man. She sleeps in the same room with that creepy weirdo woman whose mother wears a hood over her head. What the hell? That woman number one is ugly. Imagine how bad she smells, man. I'm told her and Obama just stink. Obama and Hillary both smell like sulfur. Literal vampire pot belly goblins are hobbling round coming after us. My spirit gets close to that evil and I feel it go. We're such self-centered crap. We don't even notice hell itself rising up against us. Millions upon it, people of the very worst type, and I'm so pissed. We're gonna stab your daughter at the mall. We're gonna stab your wife, your son. We're gonna stab you with a butcher knife, and then the police chief is gonna say, we love our Somalis, we love our Muslims. Oh, they're so good, oh, they're so sweet.
I was watching Fox News as I worked out this morning.
How long has this been back on? How long have we been back for? Dude, I just pissed for like an hour. Like, I was just pissing forever. Welcome back, everyone. We are 70 likes away from goal. What the fuck is all this rep, boys? God damn. No! Please, Jesus. All right, boys. We have some Red Boys to talk about real quick. Hey, Al Guang, and hey, Michaela. How you guys doing? Here we go. Let's just go ahead and shout her out. Cheesetarian. Wow. They're coming in strong, boys. Damn. Yeah, I was just pissing. Thank you, Cheesetarian, for your beautiful dog, Red Boy. Look how beautiful he is. Thank you so much. Cheesetarian coming in strong with the Red Boy. Thank you. Now, 427 Arbok. What the fuck? Why is it Arbok? Arbok? I wasn't drunk enough to pay for Nick to drink Malort on that one time, but now I am. Well, good. Thank you. I appreciate you so much, Arbok. 2 Red Boys back to back. It was Cheesetarian and Arbok. I appreciate you guys so much for all your support. We're almost to double 5 milk. We're like 60 away or 70 or something. Jay says I was 5 when I watched Britney Spears. It was 8. Okay. Damn, John. You trying to make it where I can't read super chats? Is that what Roman says for the Make Nick Puke Fund. Thank you. I appreciate your Roman hands. I love you. Renegade Sharokin says, screw it, I'll chip in too. Everybody's going ham tonight. Thank you. I appreciate you, Renegade. And Isaac Desimoro. Vito is gay. Don't follow him or Dick. Follow Camelot. I agree. Vito is gay. I love Dick, but Vito is gay for sure.
Hello, we are looking for Nina Infinity. She denies Iranian heritage, says she's Persian like a cat, like vagina. Not true. She is through and through Iranian. She's not wearing burqa. She's not wearing hijab. She is getting jihad. We'll throw her from rooftops. We'll tie a gate to her so she hits ground harder. Allahu Akbar! Israel! Hey, what did I miss?
Yeah, thank you. Renee I'm pretty good at that. Thank you, Renee. I appreciate you. I missed my calling. Let's go. Oh, look at that beautiful mess.
I hate this shit.
Thank you, Renee Galarza. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you again. I think that's like 40 till double 5 milk. I might be wrong.
No. I'm not doing 2 more eggs. I'm not going back upstairs. Fuck you guys.
I will do it for you, but I will not do it in replace of. That'd be too much.
I mean, I might, but I don't want to. God, that's gross.
Thank you guys so much for all the support and all the love. And
Ao Guang says, I don't trust that there's alcohol. There's not alcohol in it yet. I'm going to pour it on stream.
Ao Guang, listen.
You don't pour the alcohol in now. It'll curdle the milk and it makes it way worse.
Yeah.
If you pour the alcohol in right before you take the sip, it's not so bad. If you pour the alcohol in and let it curdle the milk, dude, it's like first you drink that sludge from Creep Show 2 and you're like,
yeah.
And then you have to suck down some fucking eggs. It's horrifying.
Yeah. So Steve, my boy, who I've spent hours and hours of working on cars with in real life. Nick is an alcoholic. He will definitely pour the whiskey in. I promise you. I promise it's happening.
Richard says you guys are scammers.
I agree, Richard. Thank you. Appreciate
100%. Richard, send me nudes and I'll send you $5,000. I definitely won't post them to Pornhub and make money off of them. You better be hot.
Oh, fuck. Oh, Wicked Virtue with a $10 super sticker. What a beautiful woman. I can't wait to meet you in like a week.
You always say that. You're like, oh, Wicked Virtue. What a beautiful woman. She seems nice. Jesus Christ. You have to focus on the physical all the time?
Yes.
Have you talked to her ever?
Yes.
Do you
She's been on my
remember the
show before.
conversation though, Camelot?
No.
Do you just remember the glasses and the cute hair?
Yeah. I'm just waiting to peel the undies off, bro. Thank you, Wicked. Appreciate
God
you.
damn it, I hate you.
Uh-oh. Renee Galarza had to do it. Thank you. I appreciate you, Renee. For a pink boy this late in the game, thank you so much. I love you.
Yeah, I'm telling. Wicked Virtue says thanks, Nick. Wicked, I've never even looked at you. I don't even know what you look like. All I've done is listen with my eyes closed.
She looks great.
So no, stop it. This is halal or whatever, haram, whatever the bad one is. Is haram the bad one or halal?
I don't fucking know.
Harambe's dead, so I'm assuming haram is the bad one. No, all I do is listen with my eyes closed and remember every word you say. I would never dare objectify you. Jesus
Dude,
Christ.
I grew up in
Camelot,
the
you're
park.
terrible. Yeah, you grew up in a trailer park, so you would literally fuck a gas pump.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
If you had 2 gas pumps, you'd fuck one with your tiny penis and the other one would go in your butthole and you'd be like, I'm doing an Eiffel Tower. Like, that's not how it works.
There's a song that relates to me very, very personally by Juge. Is it Juji? But it was when he was called Pink Guy back in the day.
Who are these weird Juji and Pink Guy? What's wrong with you?
So the name of the song, the chorus goes, peanut butter on my balls, let the dog lick it. Peanut butter on my balls, let the dog lick it. Peanut butter on my
Have you seen one of my favorite movies is Road Trip? Have you seen Road Trip?
Yeah, dude.
I fucking love that movie. And then when DJ Squalls is there and they're doing the whole thing and they're like, yeah, it's not cheating if you're in a different area code because your girlfriend isn't there or whatever. Like they're doing all these, it's not cheating if, and then out of nowhere in the middle of the movie, DJ Squalls like, yeah, guys, like it's not cheating if you spread peanut butter on your balls and you let your dog lick it off. And they're like, oh God. He goes, because it's your balls. Or no, it's because it's your dog. And he's like, no, we got it. Oh, Jesus. That's one of my favorite fucking scenes in any movie ever. That movie's an unsung hero of comedy.
Dude, those early 2000s, like, Road Trip and
Van Wilder, Euro Trip.
Wilder, the horror version, Joyride, a good one. And then there was, of course, American Pie. That was like the one that started everything.
American Pie is good. People are like, Porky's started all, and Porky's did. American Pie turned it up to 10. Yeah. But American Pie, let me be the devil's advocate. American Pie did have Kevin in it, and Kevin is a piece of garbage who deserved to die. Yeah. Fucking hate Kevin. That guy sucks. And when he dies in Halloween Revenge or whatever, it's like the one with Busta Rhymes. It's like the greatest moment in all of Halloween when he dies. I'm like, yeah. And the second greatest moment is also in that movie when Busta Rhymes comes in and tornado kicks fucking Michael Myers in the face. Yeah. He goes, trick or treat, motherfucker. It's like, how do you get the 2 best Halloween moments in the entire series in one movie that's the worst of all of them? God, I love that fucking movie.
Thank God for blacks. I love blacks. No, is it H2O? Is that what it was? Halloween H2O?
I don't know if it's H2O or Halloween 666 or whatever. It's one of those.
It was the one where they had it was like a reality show. They had a bunch of cameras in a house or something.
Yeah, and when Kevin from American Pie dies, Drexel and I are in the theater. And he's like, God damn it, nigga, I hate you. Make me watch this fucking movie, this fucking idiot. I'm like, don't worry, Drex. Trust me, he's going to die. He's like, Busta Rhymes is going to die first. He's got to die first. He's black. I'm like, no, this is progressive. Trust me, that fucking Kevin gay boy is going to die. And he gets stabbed right in the head. I'm like, I told you he's going to fucking die. He's like, we're dying laughing. I'm like, yes, God, I hate that piece of shit. Oh, God, I hated him in American Pie. I hate him all the way. I hate him in this movie so much. I hate him. I want him to die in real life.
He was in that shark movie, right?
I don't know. I want him to die in whatever that is. That's got the
he
greatest
dies.
death.
Yeah, he like flexes at the shark or something, and the shark eats him immediately. And you're like, okay, that was subverting my expectations.
Samuel L. Jackson dying in Deep Blue Sea is the single greatest death scene in any movie.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah,
of all time.
Yeah.
Because he's doing the Samuel L. Jackson speech. He's like, we're not gonna fight anymore. We're gonna get in there. We're gonna swim to that ladder. We're gonna get to freedom. And a shark comes up and just fucking eats him out of nowhere. And you're like, Samuel L. Jackson's rallying the troops. He's gonna solve the problem. And he's fucking toast. He's annihilated. And LL Cool J's like, damn, I'm the last one left. And you're like, yeah, you are. Oh my God, Compton has no chance in shark mode. You can't even swim, bitch.
Roman Hands says egg. Thank you, Roman Hands, for your orange boy. These are all the ones that got us to double fat milk. Thank you so much, Roman. I love you. Ellie Fant says 40 with a $20 orange boy. Thank you, Ellie Fant. You're always here. You've been here for years. Thank you so much. And you're always in Nick's locals, I see.
Great.
She's so good. Thank you, Ellie. I appreciate you so much for supporting your creators and not celebrities. Thank you so much. You're goated. Renegade, suck it up, Buttercup. And then Mathiel. Oh my God. I think he called you a bitch. Said, do the double fat milk, Rekeieta. Don't be a puh. Thank you, Mathiel. We are at double fat milk by a mile, actually. Quad fat milk's like 400 away, which hasn't happened in like a year. Thank you, Mathiel. I love you. I appreciate it.
Boy, I will come rape the gay out of you if you keep talking like this. Shut up.
Thank you, Mathiel. I love you. Thank you so much for your pink boy. Ellie Fan says, double fight milk, bitches. Thank you. And Ammo is concurrency, says Dex out for Harambe.
Deeks out for Harambe.
Deeks. You know what I watched? I told you about this earlier before I was drunk. I watched Pet Sematary 1 and 2 last night. I had a girl over. And I was like, bro, you should watch this. You know how every time well, you don't know, but like when you hang out with girls that are in their early 20s, you're like, dude, have you ever seen Pet Sematary? And they have no idea what it is. And I'm like, fuck, we have to watch both of these stupid movies. And Mr. Krabs, Clancy Brown, is in the second one, and he's so beautiful in that movie. Like, God, he is the only reason that movie should exist, is Clancy Brown. I watched that as she climbed on me. It was such a good movie. And I was like, girl, get out of the way. I'm missing Clancy.
Dude, there are only 2 horror movies in existence. The Howling 2, your sister's a werewolf, but only for the credit scene. Have you ever seen this?
No, I have to Google it though. Hold on, Howling.
It's literally the credit scene is the only important part of the movie. That's
Christopher Lee in it. Apparently.
Yep, it is the greatest credit scene.
Your sister is a werewolf.
Cody, you cannot understand unless you watch. It is the greatest credit scene of all time. The rest of the movie is actually awesome because it's an 80s werewolf movie and it is pure. It is pure. It is everything. Like, you would have to pray before watching. It's so fucking pure.
I want to watch.
It's great. But the ending credit scene is the greatest credit scene of all time. And then the other one, the greatest horror movie of all time, is literally Piranha 3DD.
You haven't watched either of these. So do I have to watch
Piranha?
Howling?
No.
Okay, good.
And Piranha 3DD, don't watch the other Piranha movies. It doesn't matter. Just watch Piranha 3DD. It is the most self-aware movie that exists. And you're like, I remember this. I remember movies like this. I remember they existed and we all understood them. We all loved them. And now feminism, and male feminism in particular, will never let this happen again. But Piranha 3DD occurred at this magic moment where we have great cameras, high definition, Ving Rhames is still alive, and everything else is perfect. I don't know how to describe it to you. Piranha Triple D is so good.
Oh my God, that sounds great.
I watched it on Twitch like 4 times in a row. As my watch party movies. I was like, we're gonna watch Piranha Triple D again. Why would we watch anything else?
To realize how drunk I am right now, I did not realize that I knew, but I didn't know it because I'm drunk now. And I did not realize Christopher Lee had died 8 years ago.
Yeah.
For some stupid reason, thought he was still alive. He would have been like over 100 now, though. There was those behind the scenes of The Hobbit filming where he would fall asleep. It was adorable. Super adorable when he would just fall asleep. Because he was like 90 something when he did Hobbit. What a beautiful actor. God, rest in peace. Day Drunk says, I got your back, Nick. I know all the locals rules. Thank you. Cheesetarian says, what is quad fight milk again? I already explained it in the chat. Arbach says,
I will not do quad fight milk. I might do double. I will not do quad. Like, legitimately, I will.
Quad, you wouldn't even be able to fit it in your cup, probably.
I'll vomit. I hate. That's so gross.
The name's a reference to 427 Cobra Jet. Since you made fun of it, Camelot. Also, I came up with like 12 years ago when I was 12. So, Arbach, to let you in on a secret, Camelot 331 was made for Halo 2. And I kept it this entire time. And I never thought I would be a YouTube guy. So that's pretty funny.
I wish I had recordings of my old Halo 2 voice chats.
Oh my God. It was just
the halcyon days. Do you know how many F-slur bundle of sticks I dropped per second? Because I was in college during Halo 2. So I had a well-rounded vocabulary, and I threw that shit right out the fucking window. I'm like, I can bring back the F-slur at 1,000 beats per minute, and these motherfuckers won't even know. And I would and you get on there, and there's like a 12-year-old who's like, your mom's gay. And I'm like, what did you say, you little fucking motherfucker? And you just light them up and they start crying and stuff. And he's like, yeah, I actually know your mom. I have her phone number. You know why? Because I turned her down and sent her to the goddamn dumpster to be raped by Harvey, the dumpster defender. And they're like, and I'm like, that's what you get for bringing up your mom. Also, by the way, sword, teabag. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you, you little piece of shit. Go back to elementary school. I'm going to come to your elementary school. I'm going to shoot it up like Dylan Roof, who doesn't even exist yet. Fuck you.
I would, on a Halo 2, I would like become their friends, find out what state they're in, what area they're in, and then find out their address with the early days of Google and their mom's name. And then I would throw it in their face and they would shit their pants. I would just destroy them with the most amount of racial and homophobic slurs I could put together. I won't say a coherent sentence. I didn't even drink back then. People don't understand because you know me now. You're like, oh, Nick's probably just drunk. No, I didn't drink back then. Not a fucking drop. It was sober, analytical, creative writing major. F slurs. I would chain F slurs together in alliteration like V for Vendetta, but you wouldn't know. You're like, I didn't know that was a synonym for F slurs that also started with F. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. These stupid kids have no chance. And they'd sit there and they'd be like, bro, I just killed you. And I'd be like, yeah, but you're going to die inside for the next decade of your life. And you're going to hang yourself and you're going to deserve it. I have an actual recording of Nick right here.
Hey, you're just mad because I'll be able to do something with my fucking guitar in hands that you'll never be able to achieve in your entire life, kid. So yeah, you're gay.
It's amazing. Yeah. So you could nuke people from orbit on Halo 2 chat. It was like people always, they're like the Call of Duty lobbies. They're like, oh, it's just the N-word. I'm like, no. Halo 2 chat was more refined because black people didn't afford Xboxes back then. So they couldn't even play. They were excluded. This is all white kids who are between 11 and 15. And you got to devastate them. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back.
Anyway, you're gay. Namek says, did you say something about quad fight milk? Yeah, I don't think we'll hit it. We've only hit it 3 times in my entire channel's history, I think, since 2019. But we're close. We're like 3 something away. Thank you, Namek. Appreciate you. Day Drunk Paralegal says, I got your back, Nick. I know all the locals rules. I've read that. Ellie Fant says,
why are you yelling, Flash? You're just sitting here reading the same
I'm not. It didn't happen. Nick needs to throw up, Ellie Fant says. And Matt says 3 hours CAMELCAST because Nick couldn't do his own stream for reasons. We are now doing Lost Splitting the Interwebs, just redneck style. Look,
now,
Matt,
here's the thing, guys. I was going to have to drive somewhere tonight. I thought I was going to have to drive somewhere tonight. Turns out I have to drive somewhere tomorrow morning. So I had a little bit more time than I thought tonight because I was going to bail around 10:30 Central Time to start my drive, but it got pushed to the morning. So in light of that, I'm awake now, but I do need to still go to bed early. So if we do another 3 hours, it'd actually be bad, but this is a good happy medium. I figured I'd stay on with Cody and hang out. Sorry. I hope maybe you didn't want me to do that. I could leave. I'll leave, Cody. Sorry. Let me leave.
No.
I was kidding.
No. How am I going to keep my viewership? No. No. Yeah. So I lost my train of thought. I've been drinking too much. 3-hour CAMELCAST. Yeah, I didn't even realize it was that long. I've had I was off for a week. Racing is really stressful. I don't care. Like, people don't know. And like, it's because you don't, like, you're not doing it. But I couldn't sleep for like 3 days. I flew to North Carolina on Thursday. I got like an hour of sleep Friday or Thursday night. I practiced all day Friday. We were second fastest in practice. And I was hyped. I couldn't sleep Friday night. Saturday we had the race, or Saturday was rained out, so I went and ate with a bunch of people. And then Sunday we had the race. Finished 5th. I was disappointed because I feel like we could have done better, but it's just the way the stars aligned. But I can't sleep. So then like this, I've been sleeping every day for like 14 hours, trying to keep like catch up. And I took off Monday because of that reason. So, and then I text Nick. And I'm like, hey, you want to come on tonight? Because I just don't want to try to set up a guest. I'm just too tired, man. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. A lot of people don't realize it, but you know, when I was working at GameStop or Walmart, life was pretty like structured, and when you're like flying everywhere and doing shit, it really drains the shit balls out of you.
It's wild how it does it, because people are like, oh, you only work like 3 hours a night. It's like kind of, but it's all the between stuff, the scheduling, the planning, and all that stuff, which we're not complaining about it. Believe us, we're not complaining about it. We have the greatest jobs on the earth. But the thing is these weird other things stress you out in ways you don't predict. And you kind of like push through them and ignore them for a while. And then sometimes they catch up. Dude, the past several days, I've slept a couple hours at night. And then sometimes I'll be doing something during the day. And I'll be like, I'm going to just sit on my bed for a minute, check my phone. And I pull up my phone, I sit down, and I pass out for like 5 hours. And there's nothing you can do. And it's like, the only thing that wakes me up, like Lady Raggets might come in during one of those and be like, hey, I need you to drive with, I'm going to drive this kid here. I need you to drive this kid here. And you're like, yeah. No, I'll be right there. And they're like, what? And you're like, I don't know. Why am I awake? I'm like, I need you to drive this kid here. And you're like, yeah. Just give me a minute.
Yeah.
Just give me a minute. And then you fall back asleep. And like, are you getting up? And like, I got up, girl. I got up like minutes ago. I'm dressed. You're literally naked sitting on the bed. Oh,
that's dangerous.
Why am I awake? I need you to drive this kid here. Why are you telling me for the first time and yelling at me? She's like, oh my God. That's how it goes. Like, cause it's like, it catches up to you and you just don't, you don't get that. And I had like, my Thursday and Friday this past week were really short. Like, it was like 90 minutes one night and 2 hours to 3 hours the next night for the whole, like, and that's all I didn't get any daytime sleep or anything. That's all I had. And then Saturday, I just like crashed out for the whole day. And then Sunday, I was like crashed up for like, I had to get up to go to church. And then I got home and I like crashed out for a little while. And I got up and I'm like, oh, I'm so tired. And then Monday, I'm like out all day. And then Tuesday, I get no sleep at all. And then today, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so fucking tired.
That's me today. I slept until 3 p.m. And I have this room in my house, like Cecil. So Cecil came to my house and stayed with me for a little while. And he was like, God damn. He was like, this house in New York will be like $5 million. And I'm like, yeah, well, I'm in Alabama. So you can have something here for,
it's free.
Yeah, it's like a couple.
You trade in a trailer and they give you one of these.
Yeah. And so I slept in the room Cecil. Every day when I wake up, I'll go and sleep in the day room. And it's just, dude, it's like the sleep room. I go, if I'm tired, if I want to take a nap, I go into the sleep room. And it's on my 3rd floor, and it like overlooks my, like the front street area, and there's just trees. God, it's like, it's beautiful. it invokes sleep. Cheesetarian says, how much from Quad Milk? It's like 300. Thank you, Cheesetarian. I appreciate you. And Mathiel, I have not missed any super chats. I was playing music and having a good time during this super chat. Thank you. This is the longest CAMELCAST in like 30 episodes, probably. I got drunk, and that's what happens when you get drunk.
Well, let's. Are we gonna do this? I got to go get the double fight. I got to get 2 more eggs. I'll do it. I won't do triple, but I'll do double. Like literally, if you send more, I won't do triple. I'll go do double though, and then I'm gonna pee. I'll be right back. Because I drank too much.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys for hanging out for the 70th episode of CAMELCAST. I'm looking to get the Razor Fist on again. Critical Drinker, Gary Nerdrotic, Eric July would be a good guest, I think. I like Eric July a lot. Even though this stream was talking about all that stuff, but you know how I am. I don't really go towards like weird tribalistic sides. I think he's great. That being said, we are 20 likes away from 1,000. Be cool to hit a 1K on a stream. And don't forget to follow my alt channel. The alt channel is almost to 10,000 subs. Be very cool. KNS says Gary, Virgin Fight Milk. Gary did double Fight Milk, his first CAMELCAST appearance. Gary has been on my show before. Gary was one of the best episodes I've ever done. It's because Gary's very, very energetic. He's very charming, very clever. So it was a great episode. He's a good dude. And I went to Houston, hung out with Gary and Critical Drinker, and every single day. Great people. Love you, Cody. Well, I appreciate that, Al Gong. I love you as well. You still need to drive my R8. We need to meet up, dude. So you can drive it. It's fun. What? If you can drive manual, I'm assuming you can. Obviously. Yeah, your Honda is a manual. What's the alt channel about? Racing? It's similar to this channel. It's just it's like my backup channel, basically. And then there's highlight clips from my shows. Good channel, and it's been doing really well lately. Want to hang out Monday? What is today? Maybe. I mean, I stream on Mondays, though. It'd be better if it was like a Tuesday or something, or a Thursday or Friday. Have you had Drex on CAMELCAST? I've had Drex on twice. Yes. I work at the biggest auto auction in the world. Your R8 was probably here last month. I bought it from an individual, Garviel, gated manual. Great car. Isaac Desimoro says, get Quarter Black Garrett on again, Landau. I need to get Landau. That's a great point. I don't know why I haven't thought of that. Thank you, Isaac. I've invited Quarter Black again, but he's so busy. He's a great dude, though. Who was not your proudest wank? Probably a guy. I don't know. Nina, what's up, Nina? How you doing? So me and Nick today we're talking about how you were completely responsible for the entire Eric July drama. Thank you, Nina, for ruining everything. What is the word? To pay penance, you must accept a load from a redneck trailer man. Thank you. I've been drinking. I don't know how to drive stick, but I've always wanted to buy a Nissan Skyline R34. God, they're great. Yeah. Stick's easier than you think. Driving stick's not hard. Little big gay. I agree, Michaela.
Allahu Akbar. Oh, Nina is in chat. Hello, Nina. We've been looking for you. You left Burka behind, Nina.
We've talked about Nina a lot tonight.
Nina, you have been showing ankles. You have been showing neck. Little bit of face. Not acceptable. We have message for you. It is on the roof. Don't worry. We will bring you to the roof and tell you glorious message. Hello. What did I miss?
Nothing. You're good. No. Hell yeah. No, we're 12. We did not hit quad fight milk, so you're good.
I don't care because I will not do quad fight milk. Like that's not a joke or a challenge. Camel, I can do it. I'll fucking do it. I will not. This is gross enough. I've got 4 fucking eggs in here.
I've done it
and a whole bunch of depression.
Twice ever, or 3 times ever. maybe.
So
The first
disgusting.
I played Dead Space maybe, and I had to do it once in Dead Space, and the second one was like maybe during the first part of this show, so like 3 years later. So I haven't known how to do quad fight milk in a long time. Thank God. It's freaking brutal. I'm gonna go snack bar. Well, Cody just said he jacked off a dude, so that's the thing. I did not jack off the dude. I grabbed his penis once.
Yeah, you jacked him off.
I didn't pump it any.
He was quick. He's a one pump chump. Look, it would have been twice, except
Nina says, "You're welcome for all the super chats of the drama."
I didn't get any super chats of drama, Nina. You didn't do me any favors.
What do you mean, super chats?
All right, should we do this shit? Should we do Neg Snake and Fight Milk?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put my earphones under my shirt so that I can take it off easily, because, well, homosexuality has its perks and drawbacks.
Yep. All right. Are you guys ready for a naked snake?
Naked snake.
My maid, she
It's
came
a
here.
metaphor for penises. You know where you won't find metaphors? Isom. Because it's not written with English literature. It's written with trash.
Damn.
Oh, shit.
So
stop drinking or I'll keep criticizing.
no,
Don't look at the art.
Damn
Don't
you.
analyze the backgrounds. Don't criticize the lighting. Don't open Isom.
You
Just
put me on the
buy
list.
Number 3.
You
and
put me on the
number
list.
4 and number 5. And alpha core is definitely not misspelled. It
No.
is definitely core as in center, and definitely not group of individuals of aligned purpose, because Houston Public Schools teach you the difference. Trust me, that's where I'm from.
Well, there goes Eric ever coming on my show. Thank you. Damn. All right. What was I talking about? I don't remember.
I haven't read any of them. I literally don't know if any of that's true. Just made it up because it's funny to me. Oh, shit. Sorry. That's what you get. You knew what this was. You knew what this was when you asked me.
Let's do Naked Snake. 226 streams in a row, boys. It has been almost 2 years since I hit Naked Snake, or didn't hit it. Let's do it again. Thank you, Nina. And thank you, Art the Clown, my boy. Says, I found a metaphor for Isom, Nick. Isom is a metaphor for Eric. Shocking.
I wish I had a cross on my penis, is all I'm saying.
Matt, all the YouTube ladies show up for Naked Snake.
Would you get a tattoo on your penis?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you'd sit there and do it?
I think so.
I've heard it actually doesn't hurt.
I'm sure it hurts.
No, because so I was watching this YouTuber, and he's like, I'm gonna go prank them and tell them I want a tattoo on my penis. He's like, I don't know what they're gonna need, and he goes in. He's like, yeah, I want to get my dick tattooed, and they're like, okay. He's like, so like, what do I have to do? Do I have to stay hard the whole time? And they're like, no, that's impossible. It's a bunch of needles going into your penis. Like it's not gonna stay hard. He's like, wait, what? And they're like, no, the tattoo artists, they take their finger and they grab your penis and they stretch it as far as they can. They wrap it around your finger and they pull it tight and and he's like, oh my God. She's like, yeah, I'll go get the artist. He's like, no, it's cool. I don't need that. I don't want that.
Oof.
Would you get one?
Yeah.
Cool. Me too. I would only get one though if I could have it be one word, but when I was erect, have it be a different word.
Like a glow in the dark.
Like a longer word.
Yeah. No,
you say glow in the dark. So unironically, one of the guys who comes to every live event I do, I fucking love this guy. He owns a company that does this sort of stuff, and they are in FDA approval right now for blacklight tattoos. They tattoo you and you cannot see them, but when you go under a blacklight, they show up. Just fucking awesome. I'm gonna get 100 of them. I'm gonna get a big penis tattooed on me so that when it's in blacklight, at least then I'll be hung.
Finally. I'll have a giant penis on me.
Make it black.
All right, boys. It's time for Naked Snake. We're 300 from Quad Fight Milk for me. Get the hell on it, doggone it. Let's do Naked Snake. 226 streams in a row, boys. CAMELCAST 70 with my boy Nick REKIETA.
226 streams in a row.
I just shaved my chest in preparation. H. Let's go. It's going to be a good stream. Thank you guys so much. Here we go. I have to take my headset off. 2 seconds.
This music is from PlayStation, the greatest composing platform on
Here
the
we go,
planet.
boys.
Camelot doesn't know I'm saying he's a gay who likes penis in his butthole.
It's that time again.
If he doesn't deny it, he means it's true.
I accept. I can kind of hear. Here we go, boys. It's that time again. Snake eater in my time. There be nobody else. Here we go. Crying. It's the way I fly to you. I'm still in a dream, snake eater. Here we go. You ready? Sonia's favorite
It's all
part.
you. I'm not going to do it.
Oh my God. 226. I give my life. Not for Rana, but for you. Thank you guys so much. Can you believe
Not
this
gonna
shit?
lie. This is
Nina, in
kinda
my
gay.
time, there be nobody else. They're coming in, crying. It's the way I fly to you.
Bakos' engine revs on his
I'm
charger
still
when he watches
in a
Naked
dream, snake eater. 226 in a row. I appreciate you guys so much for all the support. Get the hell on it, doggone it. Michael, appreciate you. Matt, appreciate you. Here we go. Thank you. Amazing. Woo. The camel had a baby, offspring named REKIETA. Look how we're adorable. Its undeveloped shoulders look.
I was gonna say I have a public statement on these shoulders. Everybody shits on me for the small shoulders. Like, look, I go, I deal with it. It's trauma. I've talked to my therapist every day about it, and I'm like, God, the shoulder thing. I'm like, but Kenya needed shoulders. Like, I had shoulders, and then they reached out to me, and they're like, "Hello, Mr. REKIETA. We are in Kenya. We need shoulders for children everywhere. We know you can donate them." So I donated shoulders. And every time, like, I'm like, oh, my shoulders get to a certain size. Like when you donate hair to the fucking cancer idiots who lose all their hair because they're stupid. And they're like, oh, I got cancer. Well, I lost my hair. It's like, well, why'd you do that? And they're like, I don't know. But well, okay, fine. I'll grow out my hair and I grow out my shoulders and I give it to Kenyan kids. You know what? I don't know. There's a bunch of Kenyan kids with a bunch of white boulders running around out there. And it's not like, look, it's a sacrifice I have to make. I don't talk about it much. I don't like to talk about my philanthropy because kind of like, jostling yourself up. But it's what happens. And it really frustrates me because, guys, it is hurtful. It is hurtful, but it would be Way more hurtful for those Kenyan kids. They're like, oh, I stepped on a landmine. My shoulders blew off. My arms are still here. My torso is still here, but my shoulders are gone. I'm like, I got you.
You were
Kenyan child.
selfless. It was you being selfless.
I learned where to do it from Obama. Have you seen his shoulders? No. Gave them to Kenyans, his fellow brethren. And I'm like, that's a good idea. I want more Kenyan presidents, so I gave them my shoulders too.
Grifty says, starting TRT tomorrow. When should I notice a change? Within 1 day. And by change, I mean your mental and physical, your mental and your psychological change. You won't see like muscle and shit for like.
You will see your penis invert to a vagina, though.
Your penis will be hard immediately. Thank you, Grifty. And real quick, my girl Samantha, she sent me a GoFundMe because her sister passed away. A very long supporter, long follower of mine for years. I need you guys to give her her GoFundMe a look. She lost her sister recently, which is unfathomable. I lost my brother in 2017, and it was a pretty ground-shaking thing. If you can, give it a look-see. Give her some support, $1 or $2 here. I posted the link. Please give that a look. It's pretty scary stuff, pretty heartbreaking stuff, and she could use the help. So give it a look-see. Have 350 raised of 5,000 so far, and that could help her in a big-ass way. So give her some love. She supported me so much in the past, so consider supporting her as well and giving back. Thank you, Samantha, and my heart goes out to you and your family for Lacey. Thank you. All right. So that's in the chat for you guys. Let's do Fight Milk.
Fuck.
And I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna get off and play Left 4 Dead until I black out.
I'm gonna get out and go cry in my shower because I don't have shoulders. So here we go. I've got a little bit of Tito's here. Not much.
So we didn't hit quad. We were 300 away from quad Fight Milk, but we did hit double Fight Milk. So we're gonna have some fun here.
Doesn't make me feel better, Camelot. I don't like it.
Why is Ripper streaming? Okay, cool. Okay, it's good. He's not responding.
He streams all the time. It's not a thing. Like,
it's fine. People in the chat are just trying to create shit.
I think at night he streams video games mostly. He normally does his like talking about shit streams in the morning-ish. Then at night he chills with his dudes and plays they're playing that animal fighting like brawler game. Looks kind of fun.
What's it called? It's called like fuck.
I don't know. Dude, someone was like, when are you going to do gaming streams again? I'm like, in theory, I want to. I haven't felt motivated to play a video game in like over a year. I just don't wanna. And so it's hard to stream them. I like video games. And I know if I sit down to like force myself to play them, I'll have a good time. But right now it's like exercise or like paying your taxes or whatever. Like I know I have to do this and if I do it, it'll be okay. But the thought of it is terrifying and I don't want to do it. So
everybody's saying Animal Crossing. That's not the game. You bitch.
Party animals. Irish Jedi.
Party animals. Yeah, that's it.
This is going to be so fucking gross. God, I hate. Why did you come up with this?
I did not.
Other than money.
Another person. It was a different person that came up with this in my chat that I have not seen in years.
Someone needs to come up with some good, super chat goals for me. We'll set them at $10 and $20. And that's it.
Oof.
Because I don't want to be like a weirdo who's like, give me money. I mean, I do, but I don't at the same time. But like, just something funny to do. I don't know. I thought about it. I'm like, I don't do anything funny. I'm just depressing.
I'll be that guy.
I don't know why you don't jump out of an airplane after watching my show. Oh, Matt, you can't afford an airplane. Sorry.
Oh, they're so expensive. Matt says, why is quad Fight Milk after double? I have no idea. Cornelia says, Nick, do your arms just connect directly to your collarbone?
Yeah.
That's how that works anatomically.
The neck bone's connected to the collarbone. The collarbone's connected to the arm bone and the ass bone in women because collarbones are amazing. And so are ass bones. It's true.
You guys ready?
No.
First stream back in a week and we hit double Fight Milk.
Fucking hate you.
Oh, wait, hold on. I need to put whiskey in mine.
Yeah, I was like, you don't have any liquor in there or liquid at all.
I got it. Here we go.
Maybe I should do push-ups for money. For $1,000, I'll do one push-up. I probably won't even complete it.
Damn, that's a deal right there.
This is a mistake. I always do too much of this. But if you have not enough milk, those 4 eggs really suck.
Are you guys ready? It's CAMELCAST 70 with Nick REKIETA with Fight Milk, double Fight Milk. Get the hell on it, dog on it. I appreciate you guys so much for all your support. Like the stream, follow the alt channel, disavow Nina Infinity.
It's so big.
Get on it, doggone it. Appreciate you guys so much. Let's do this. Damn.
Oh, fuck. God, it sucks.
Ah. Oh, God. Oh. I need some ibuprofen.
Dude, that is...
God, Jesus.
It's something you will never know until you do it.
I'm having a meetup in 2 weeks in Orlando.
I'm having a meetup with the toilet.
With my mods. I wish I had water. And we're all doing Fight Milk together. Oh, God.
You know what's funny is like,
what a nightmare.
Obviously I would be better at this if I was gay. Nina says, I bet cum is still more gross than Fight Milk. Shut up, Nina. Shut your fucking mouth.
It's not. Oh, fuck.
Kimla knows.
Thank you, Coop.
God, this is disgusting.
Oh, fuck. Thank you guys so much. Almost a 4-hour stream. That's unexpected. I can't believe it. Time just flies by, man.
I legitimately was gonna bail at even though I my plans got changed, I was still gonna bail like 10:30ish, and I was gonna be like, I gotta go. I don't want to do Fight Milk. But here I am.
Here we are. Thank you guys so much.
Wipe your face off. Jesus Christ.
I don't have anything,
Holmes,
dude.
Or whatever.
My maid
Holmes.
took my rags. She put them somewhere. She always does this shit.
Hold on 1 second.
Don't throw up. Don't throw up, Nick. Don't do it. Don't throw up, Nick. Where'd you go, Nick?
Nah, just a second. Sorry. I had a different issue.
Okay, good. Okay.
It's all good. Everything's fine.
I was making sure you know you didn't.
I would not. I'm not going to throw up in my room here. If I was going to throw up, I'd just tell you. Like, that doesn't shame me. It happens really, really rarely from drinking. I have to drink a lot and have no food and no other liquid. Usually I will stave it off, and I'll sit there and like spin in bed. I'm like, no, don't do it. But no, I haven't. I've not drank anywhere near enough to throw up tonight. The double Fight Milk. Here's the thing with Fight Milk, guys. Your brain is like, that is so hideous that you suck that down. You should want to throw up, and your stomach's like, but it really wasn't that bad. Like, it's weird how it works. It's true though, right? Like, it seems way worse than it actually is.
Yeah.
It's
pretty bad.
No, it's all good. It is bad.
Whiskey's fine with it, but everything like there's
vodka's the best. Sorry, vodka's the best.
Vodka's easily the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done everything, and vodka's easily the best.
I think I did that rum one time. That was the worst. Oh, God, curdled it. It was a military special rum. It was like gasoline met eggs and rotten milk. God, it was fucking awful.
Crystal, how you doing? Today we're going to raid Halo Millennium. Halo Millennium is an up and coming VTuber. I support my VTuber bros that are not corpos like Pippa. Damn it.
Poor Pippa.
Which Pippa blocked me on YouTube.
Really?
Well, yeah, because I raided her that one time.
Oh, come on. Like, what was wrong with that? Weren't people nice?
Why does Pippa not love me? I thought she loved me. I thought we had something special.
People are always like, oh, Nick and Campbell had a beef with Pippa. It's like, no, I don't have beef with Pippa.
We literally don't. Pippa. Yeah. It's like, well, they can't see it from a human perspective of just normal people. Like, if I met Pippa in real life and we hung out, like, it would be like the most chill shit in the world.
Until you posted pictures of her on Twitter, you bigot.
Well, see, like, the issue is people didn't expect Pippa to be that hot. I mean, not Pippa, a different Pippa, not the same person, is a different person.
Not Pippa's a cutie, I'm not gonna lie. Not Pippa's a cutie.
I appreciate you guys so much. We're gonna raid Halo Millennium. Get the hell on it, doggone it. I love you. Thank you so much to Nick REKIETA for a huge.
Oh, can I promote my show tomorrow?
Yes, go.
Okay, guys. So while I was last night, I was talking about the Joshua Moon lawsuit, Russell Greer versus Josh Moon. Unexpectedly, the appeals court reversed and remanded, which means Josh Moon gets to continue, or not Josh Moon, Russell Greer gets to continue in what I consider a very frivolous contributory copyright infringement case against Josh Moon. I think it's like, I know Josh and I have drama and history and all that stuff, but I really think this is a very dangerous case for small independent forum owners and website operators. And I don't think this is good. Like I do laugh. Don't make me wrong. Like, don't get me wrong. I laugh because he and the Kiwi Farms are like laughing at me and my lawsuit because it's a frivolous lawsuit. And they're like, I hope Nick loses. And I'm like, now you've got your own frivolous laws to deal with. That's kind of funny. It's like just desserts. But at the same time, in reality, though, the ultimate issue is Josh should win this. Russell Greer should not. Russ is a piece of shit. If it had never gotten past the stage, I'd actually be happier. But now that it's here, I'm going to laugh a little bit, but I'm going to talk about why it's wrong and why it's very dangerous. That's what I was doing yesterday. And then some weirdo Ripa fan who apparently has like a Rumble channel or something, he called me out on YouTube. He's like, you, or on Twitter, he's like, you wouldn't dare have me on. So tomorrow night, guys, with peace and love and all the respect in the world, I don't know what this beef is. I don't know what I'm supposed to call him out on. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to have this guy on, and I assume we're going to have a debate about Ripa, Isom, whatever, but I legit don't know the issue. I said he is welcome. Now, he may have told me, I haven't looked. I told him on Twitter in our DMs, I said, you're welcome to tell me the issue now and let me know what we're arguing about. I don't know. I don't know you. But if you don't want to, that's fine. We'll just do it on stream and I'll learn as we go. And that's cool too. So it may be a mystery like Russian roulette debate, or it may be a debate that I know the subject of. And if I do, I'll put it in the title. If I don't, I'll be like, I'm debating somebody on something. But people kind of like the debate shows. There are not too many opportunities for them. I think this is a good one because there's so much weird shit and misinformation about Ripa and the Ripaverse and the trademark that I have a feeling that their entire beef with me is based on a complete misunderstanding.
Yep.
And I will do what I always do. I will go into the show with total respect and just be willing to listen. And I will let that person dictate how they want the show to go. And we're going to have a good time figuring that out. That's tomorrow, 11 p.m. Central. Don't miss it.
Hell yeah. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you give that a follow. Malty says free Camelot. Yes, I'm still banned on Twitter. Please give me a shout out on there to get me hopefully unbanned. I'm assuming it's coming eventually, but thank you. Nina says raid Eric July. I cannot because he has raid privileges turned off. Or else I would, because that'd be funny and great because I like Eric. Get on it, dog on it. Love you guys. See you guys later. Follow Nick. I posted his link in the chat, of course.
I won't pull my titties out on my own stream.
Get on it, dog on it. Saturday.
Just my butthole.
Just the butthole. Oh, what a beautiful sight. He bleaches it, obviously. Saturday is the next show with Zia. My favorite blonde. Second favorite blonde is Zia. And we'll have a show with her.
Nick telling the other one.
No, stop. I'll see you guys Saturday. Get the hell on it, dog on it. Bye, everybody.
Peace, guys.